All right, we're back. Sorry, I was in telephone hell for a little while. Wanted to figure out what the deadlines were for my healthcare application. Turns out it's not this month. It's in a couple months. So I can breathe easy, even though I probably should do the work of figuring out what, well, doing all my financials. I should periodically, like, you know, every 2 or 3 months, I should probably, you know, sit down with Quicken and do all the financial stuff, because it does not take a long time for me to do it. When I let a whole year build up, it takes me like a day. So I was trying to see whether or not this Sunday was ruined, because I have this week, I have this weekend, and I have next weekend, and then I'm flying to Oregon. So if I had to submit this by, you know, the end of December, I would have been fucked up. So so yeah, I was just trying to figure it out. It turns out it's not until mid 2 months from now. So yeah, I'm finally actually taking a vacation after like 4 years of streaming nonstop. Oh, nice. Less than 3 weeks, go to Seattle. So Octojay is like, Fat, can you take over my responsibilities? I gotta go to Jamaica. And he comes back and he's like, I'm back. All right, I'm leaving again for Seattle. What am I doing there? I'm visiting somebody. None of your business. Unfortunately, I don't have a job interview in Vancouver. I wish I did. Oh, to be fair, you guys, like, I'll do the updating if it comes to that. If you guys don't want that responsibility, I'm happy to do it. It's something that Octojay sort of like invented and then followed up with, and he's done an awesome job of it since. There's like little overruns on this. Huh? I might have to reprint this. Turned out okay. No problem doing it. Okay. All right. As long as you're not, you know, as long as you don't feel it's weighing over you or in any way, shape, or form. I should probably do what Sickab does with his stream and have comments show up and then disappear. I think I need to do like stream elements or something to make that happen. Because like when chat's slow, people's messages persist, and I know that's not ideal. You know, like I hate making a comment and then having it be on the screen for like an hour. I just wanted to give like any potential YouTube audience that I would potentially upload for context as to what I'm commenting on. And I want my chatters to have a little bit less of a stressful time in my stream. Like, oh, nobody's talking in chat. I guess I'll have to just like I'll say something, but if it's controversial and they misunderstand it, it'll end up being up there for a week and a half. I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to figure out a way to make that. I wonder if I can make Chatty do that right now. Just default. Moving some of the stuff away for the Norn. I don't know if that's a good thing, Animal Grunt. I don't. That's a All right. Yeah, so the Norn, the 3D prints that I did for it are the wrong size. They're the wrong size. So they were scaled weird because of DXF importing into Fusion. And so I have to redo them at the right size. So what I did is I modeled the entire Norn in AutoCAD. And the way that I did it was by importing the circuit board file and then finding all of the components on various websites, or equivalent components on various websites, and then moving them into the drawing. So now I have a 3D model in Fusion 360 of the Norn. And now I can build the solids around it. Look, man, it's not that overkill. Everybody and their dog has a 3D model of the Raspberry Pi. And then I had to find the screen module, which I think that wasn't the manufacturer that did that. That screen module, Fatanon said it's pretty popular with Raspberry Pi people. Yeah, that's what I tweeted. I tweeted it. I actually did a tweeter. I actually tweeted for once, like this year. But the 3D model of the screen, yeah, Fatanon is saying it's fairly popular. So I was like, I should be able to find this. And I just did a combination of the part number and the name, and I ended up finding somebody else's 3D model of the screen, and then, you know, the Norn PCB was just a matter of getting the Eagle board file into CAD and then clicking generate PCB, and it just did it. So I've got all the dimensions and everything perfect. And all I did was place the solids, or place the components in the right places. I had to import the knobs and the buttons, and I already had the headphone connector. So those I added on in post. Those are actually separate components in the drawing. They're not attached to the PCB or the components that are used in there. I probably could have done something with the Eagle where I like substitute in with the schematic. Like I make a design file, and I import the schematic, and then I import the board layout, and then I do substitutions on the individual components that I have models for, and it would automatically put them in the right spot. But I didn't do that. Didn't do that because I wanted to get those dimensions perfect. So I just found the manufacturer's 3D design, imported that, dragged it onto the drawing, and then cleverly centered it and everything. So now I know where stuff is, and I can design a very basic 3D print. I think I'm going to do like a front wall, and then the top and the front wall will be part of the bottom, and then I'll have plastic standoffs, because apparently one of the mistakes that I made with the Norn, Chad, I made a mistake with the Norn. I made a big glaring mistake. Here, let me get it. So, here's what I did. Here's what I did at the Norn. So I was looking at the Norn, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is a cool thing. Like, hey, Julian will never forgive. I know, he spent so much money on the parts for this thing. Here's the thing. So the Norn is a couple PCBs that are stacked on top of one another, right? You got your Raspberry Pi all the way down here. You got your Norn PCB, which comes from, I think, JL or PCBWay or one of those things. You can order it directly from the board manufacturer. And then you've got the screen PCB sitting up top. And so there are holes here where you could put a screw through in order to mount the screen. I kind of tried doing that, and the screw looked like it was a little bit too big. But I wanted to use my laptop screws for this thing, these panhead laptop screws, which I didn't have standoffs for the smaller sizes of panhead laptop screws, and inexplicably, the Norn people decided to make these header screws smaller. So I was like, all right, screw it. There's nothing in that area. Let me drill it out, and then put a larger screw through there, because there's no traces in this area, and there's no traces in this area either. What I neglected is that they split the ground plane. There it is, right there. You see that right there? That is two different planes, and one of them is a power plane, and the other is a ground plane. I did not expect that. And so the screen, having these wonderful little coupling through holes, it's less common. With audio stuff, it might be more common. But what happened was, I believe this is the positive power plane. So when I booted this thing up, it all worked and everything. And then I think I was adjusting this, and I think my thumb hit the screen, and the thing resets. I'm like, what? Oh, what is this? This is really bad. And so I went to adjust it again while it was working. Oh God, it reset again. What could be happening? Press the button, play with it a little bit. What's setting it off? Discover that just tapping this side of the screen set it off. And what it was doing, it was connecting power to ground across its own ground. So I put a piece of Captain tape on it for now, but this is going to get plastic standoffs. And the reason that happened was I drilled out those screw holes. They had the screw hole, and then the plane was only a certain distance around that screw hole, and I ended up drilling so that the ground plane came into contact, or the power plane came into contact with the threads and subsequently the post, and then it shorted across here. Yeah. It's not a debilitating issue, but it is something that I now have to consider with this thing. So, whoopsie-daisy. I'm gonna get a phone call in like 3 years when Dave and Julian are reskinning this thing in wood, and they're like, why isn't it turning on? Plastic washers wouldn't be the only solution though, because you need to like fully isolate it. I don't know, drill it larger and try to like put epoxy in there or something. But like, yeah, I mean, plastic washers would be the temporary solution, but you got to be careful because if you do plastic washers on this lower bolt, the threads are still what's contacting the internal stuff. So that would still make contact. If I put washers on either side of this one, that would isolate it, but I have to do either side. I can't just do one side. And then in the final design, the way that these people are building these things, they're not putting a screw up here because the tolerances between the screen and the screw hole, they never give you good screw holes with screens. So the tolerances between the screen and the screw hole are too tight. So nobody puts screws in these. They're just there to kind of hold the screw up against the front panel, which is essentially what I'll be doing. I'll be maybe making a plastic post or a plastic like a big like a larger assembly than just that, or maybe I don't really want to do anything with the sidewalls though, because I want to leave the memory card slot open and all the USB stuff open, and then all this stuff open because there's a lot of stuff on the edges of this thing. But what I want to do is I want to design a bottom plate and then not really something to fill this area, but like a wall for this part, and then the top plate will screw into that through here. So yeah, I got a lot of figuring out to do. A lot of figuring out to do with but now that I have a 3D model of this thing, it should be pretty good. I was playing around with it. I mean, this thing is kind of cool. Like you can script for it and it'll work with other monome stuff. So like the sequencer with all the buttons on it, this will work with that. And you can do all kinds of cool stuff. But I was doing all the stuff where like, I'm not a musician. And no matter what I did twiddling the knobs, I didn't make anything that sounded dumb. Like this is a pretty smart sequencing buddy. I was able to do like a pattern and then have it smooth the pattern and like shift it. It was cool. Fun as a not really totally prolific musician. I mean, I know music, but yeah, I studied a little bit of music. But yeah, cool thing. It's a really cool thing. But it works. I'm just gonna finish that 3D model that I haven't even started. And yeah, and then Julian will get his Norn. I gotta get the for like haircuts that are the shape of your face, or like good haircuts for your face shape. And I'm like, what the fuck shape face do I have? And I was like, none of these haircuts are mine. Fatanon, 33 months at a tier motherfucking 3. Holy shit, dude. Thank you for the tier 3s. Please add me to the cool kids list. You were on it. You don't get off of the cool. If you say don't add me is when you run into problems. I need seltzer. I had an egg sandwich before stream. A blandwich. Egg, mayo, mustard, spinachy lettuce. I think it's like deli American and egg. Raw egg, just drizzled. No, not raw egg. It was it was a hard-boiled egg that I sliced with an egg slicer. But man, is that the blandest sandwich you've ever heard of? Watch it cause me heartburn. I'm not saving these bottles anymore, by the way. I'm doing something that I mentioned a while back. I'm not going to mention again. Apparently it's illegal. But yeah, I'm doing something with freezing liquids. And so I have about eight or nine of those things in circulation right now. What's up, nothing's working? Oh boy, we're starting from scratch on this one, huh? Let's start up. We should start up. Should we start? We should start. We should start up. We should start up. I have one stream to do this, so one stream and then extracurricular work in order to do this, right? Wayne Johnson. Hey, tier 1 for 20 months. Man, thank you so much. Dude, you guys are great. Yeah, Fatanon's tier 3 is insane. That's insane, dude. Really appreciate it. Oh, by the way, my queue position came up for the EVGA 3090 thing. I don't have $2,000 to spend. I don't have the money. I just don't. You know, plane tickets being what they are and all that, I'm broke. So Oh my god. He's hilarious. I'm broke. No, yeah, a lot of the law kind of 100 bits for GPU. It's not gonna, no, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not gonna work. My 20 hours is up. It's long up. So the next person in queue has gotten the message. Plus, going to a 3090 requires a little bit of rocket heart surgery. What I need to do is add one more module to the power supply. And with that power supply, since it's running my main computer, it has to be down for like 5 minutes and then back up, right? So I need to redesign the entire circuit board, redesign the entire heatsink, and that side of the computer. I need to add 1 centimeter to the case, and then I'll be good to go with air-cooled 3090. I would like to do that, but the carbon fiber sheet that I used as the base plate doesn't have a 1 centimeter longer version of it. So I would need to do something clever with that. 100 bits, 100 more bits. Thank you, Fatanon. Thank you to Project 454 as well for the 100 bits for GPU. You guys aren't gonna get $2,000, and even if you do, I have to re-enter the queue. I just want emotes. Yeah, that's the other thing. More emotes would be good. I will spend time. It's that list of things is starting to move up, even in spite of the state of the rest of the projects, right? We're long overdue for me doing an emotes thing. 1 extra maker beam. Yeah, it looks sloppy though when you do that. Like, it looks a little sloppy when you do that, right? I mean, I guess it could be at the back of the case, but like 2 maker beams up against one another. I don't know. I can do a 5mm. Gifted a sub. Thank you, Fatadon, for gifting a sub, but nothing's working. 176, I-76. El Diablo. That's the highway around here. But yeah, that would require me to add 1 centimeter to the case, which means I have to redesign 4 of the panels, which are the big panels, recut mesh for them, figure out how the base plate is going to accommodate that. I don't think the heatsink, I mean, the heatsink, I'll need to buy another one just to make the mounting holes for it. But basically, it'll just, that'll fit another module, I think. Well, actually, the module is, maybe it won't fit another module. Yeah, so maybe the case will get a longer, I don't know. There's all kinds of mechanical things that don't work out. There were a lot of happy accidents with that computer case that sort of just like worked out. They just kind of like worked. It just kind of went together like really, really well. I mean, that form factor, that specific size has been doing me good for like much longer than I've been streaming. It's like 6 to 8 years I've had that power supply running that computer. But it's 600 watts if you push it, which is really pushing it with a 3090 and a 5950X. The 5950X is sipping, but the 3090 is the thing that would really tank the power. And having an extra 250 watts, which is what happens when you add a module. You can just stack modules for this thing. Another 250 watts would benefit it greatly. I'd probably have to go to an XT60 connector, so I'd have 60 amps on the connector. Oh my god. Yeah, that's kind of insane. I would like to go water cooling with it too, but like water cooling and the 3090 and the 5950X and the pumps and the reservoirs, it's just a case. It becomes a monster. It becomes a monster. It becomes very expensive. So yeah, I was not, I got the ability to buy a 3090, and I guess I have to turn in my streamer card because all these streamers just buy the best graphics card at any cost. And I'm like, I just don't have the money right now. If it was like 4 months from now, I'd probably have the money, but nope, no can do. No can do. Yeah, I do too. I hope for a while the trends were that the power was getting more efficient and the GPUs were not getting larger. Weren't they supposed to like middle out? But then somebody was like, yo, heat pipes don't need a PCB under them in order to properly cool all your shit. And they're like, really? Because we're generating like heat. Like, we're really irresponsible about that. Like, yeah, you just put them wherever. Like, all right, let's go forward. We're heading back to Voodoo 5 days. 8-slot GPUs. Yeah, they're going down and forward. I could deal with a taller GPU. That would actually be the easier thing for me to accommodate, because then the power supply could get 60mm fans. Then the power supply could get the big fans, and I would have potential to put all the radiators in there and everything, right? But them going forward towards the front PCIe hanging apparatus that's in old ATX cases, I can't handle that. I could probably do like a 3070. I don't know. What's nice is that the water cooler brings it back down to like two slots. But you still have to accommodate all the tubes and stuff. Also, the other thing is the experience that we had building my friend's 3090 PC was pretty bad. He got the EVGA card. We took the cooler off it very carefully. It was dead. DOA. And he's lucky that he put it into the local computer store, the Micro Center, for their evaluation, because it might have been what they did that broke it, but it might have been what we did that broke it. And so I'm a little reticent to trust EVGA at this point. I've had one EVGA motherboard just die, just stop working on me. So I'm like, I don't know. It worked at first, worked just fine at first, but God, my beard is starting to go a little white. I'm gonna start looking like Julian, all the white hair. Actually, my family, I don't know if I'll have gray hair or not. I'll probably be salt and pepper for like 30 to 40 years. Who am I kidding? I'm not gonna be alive that long. All right, level 2 hype train. Hey, thank you so much for the hypiness. Fatanon, Project 454, Wayne Johnson. Did I miss anybody? I didn't. It was only a couple of you guys. Level 2 hype emote. What is it? If I have to go, what is it, and I have to squint at the screen, it's not a well-designed emote. Hype hands. So it's like an otter, but it's got like half of a heart. Oh, I see. So it's supposed to be a combo emote, and it's holding a seashell. They are trying to do a lot with the very limited number of pixels that they have. They're trying to do a lot. Should probably get started, huh? Was it Gigabyte? I thought EVGA was in the crosshairs of that too. It was. Oh, I see. EVGA is having a bit of a PR nightmare, partially due to Gamer Nexus's testing of their power supplies. Yeah, the burning power supplies. This is like, Father, why in the world would you build your own power supply? Well, first of all, the form factor had to be very specific for my VCR-shaped PC, but also, building my own power supply means that I am not subject to the bean counter. Now, I may have spent probably a couple $1,000s if I really add up all the minuscule expenditures of development. Development is, especially rapid development, is extremely expensive. You guys should know. Like the stuff that I'm working on here, the only reason that I'm able to do rapid development here is that I've just got a lot of stuff, right? I've just hoarded a lot of stuff. But like developing and building stuff from scratch is very expensive. This thing, this Monome is one custom PCB with just like one tiny little analog circuit in it and a couple headphone connectors with a screen and a Raspberry Pi. Like, okay, that's nothing, right? We're electrical engineers. We can do that. Lickety split, it'd be totally easy. Julian spent like $300 and something on this. If you itemize all the costs, $300 for a PCB with one circuit on it, a couple buttons, a couple knobs, a screen, and a Raspberry Pi. You know, rapid development, just any of this stuff is very expensive for the beginner. I happen to have a shit ton of stuff around here, and a lot of it is trash. But so developing a power supply, when I say it was $1,000, that's like, oh, okay. Like, you know, oh, all right. I was working for the government through a contractor at the time, making great money. Too bad I couldn't have gone independent, because if you go independent, you make like 5 times as much. But anyway, yeah, I was there on behest of a contracting firm making a lot of money. And so I was like, I want to do a project that's really cool. What can I do? And I had sort of in the back of my head these specific modules that you could put together to make power supplies, because other military contractors were using those. So I was looking at what they had on their website, and I sort of like weaseled my way into buying a couple of these modules and then developing for them. But I blew up some of the modules when I was working with it, because I was a kid. I didn't know what the fuck, I was just out of college. I didn't know what the hell I was doing with these things. I should have just followed exactly what they told me to do. I think I misunderstood something in my haste. And I didn't have all the tools we have nowadays in order to edit and author circuit boards. So now, with the benefit of all that knowledge, I know that I can very easily plop another module onto my custom power supply. The advantage of my custom power supply, though, is that it's not built to the bottom dollar, right? Nobody's cheaping out on components on that thing. It's all under me. So I'm like, what's the ideal, you know, component to use with this? Oh, it's that? Okay, let's use that instead of what can I substitute in here to save us a little bit of money so that our development costs and our overall profits are higher. That's not the philosophy behind the power supply. That's why it's lasted about 6 years at moderate to heavy potential loads on it. I mean, I've been playing like AAA games on it sometimes. AAA games suck now. They're terrible. They're built to a lower hardware standard, so you're not going to push anything on a AAA game. But still, it's able to run everything. It may protest. It doth protest sometimes. But now that we've got a bunch of Noctua fans on it, it hasn't gotten warm. Pretty cool. And the cooler I keep it, the longer it'll last. Because if it breaks, I have to break out a 1,000-watt power supply that a friend gave me and somehow plug that into the thing like a friggin' Frankenstein open heart surgery kind of deal. It's cheaper to spend thousands of dollars on simulation software instead of making prototypes. Yeah, it's something about that, you know? Twitch large emotes. Good God. Yeah, my experience with the EVGA has been good. Overall good. But I had one motherboard just up and kick the bucket. And then I also had the SteelSeries mouse just up and kick the bucket. And I'm like, something about British hardware. But like anybody else, I got Stockholm Syndrome. Their customer service is generally very good. So, I don't hate them. But then there was the whole ordeal with my friend's CPU just being bad, so. Yeah, that's what it would be. Or with this, the power supply sitting on the top of the desk. Just a big bundle of wires going in. All right, let's get started. I got work to do today. We got our work cut out for us. I am gone on the 13th of December. So I need to get this project done so that I don't ruin Octojay's holiday. We got to remake Octopedal 2000. Now this is a project, and we know this project, and I built 2 versions of it. I'll explain what the difference between the versions of it are. It's just internal differences. But the Octopedal 2000, as displayed in the title over there, is an industrial foot pedal. What has a digispark in it. The digispark is an attiny 85 microcontroller made by DigiKey. That's why they have that's why Digi's in the name. Digispark is from DigiKey. I have some knockoffs and some genuine ones, but it's an attiny 85 that you can plug into USB and program directly with USB, meaning that it's set up to be a USB peripheral. What we decided to do with this attiny 85 is right up its alley. We basically just give it one input and some output. So it outputs on USB, it outputs to an LED, and then it inputs from a magnetic sensor, a Hall effect, read switch cut type thing. It's a component. We'll get them out and we'll take a look at them. But basically what happens with this thing is you press the foot pedal down and that ends up pressing a button on the joystick. And we went through the whole 9 yards on this thing because this thing is a fairly simple thing. We were able to get into the back end of the Digispark and have it rename the device Octopedal 2000 at the behest of Octojay. That might be the wrong word. At Octojay's request. That's probably a better way to put it. Anyway, so we got that thing working, and then he was like, this thing is awesome. Make one for somebody else for me. I'm like, well, I can't say no. He's a moderator. So I did. And that wasn't good enough for him. And so now he wants another fucking one of these pieces of shit. They're indestructible, so it's not like he's breaking them. I don't know what he's doing with them. I think he melts them down in an oven or something like that, just for fun. But anyway, he bought the TE CN0003. Of course it has to have CN on it, because it's going to Canada. Actually, this one, I think, is staying in America, but, you know, the Canadian has commissioned the design of another one. So I'm going to build it for him. Yeah, can't say no to moderators. I don't pay them. I'm not fancy enough to pay them. So I'm happy to do projects with them. But anyway, listen, I'm perfectly happy to do this. I'm play complaining. You guys should know that all my complaining is completely sarcastic. This is right up our alley. I want to get this thing done because I don't like to have homework looming over me when I'm about to leave the state. So I want to get this thing done, and hopefully we can get it. I'm going to say done in one stream, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a futuristic pedal for the year 2000. So this is a project that we've already done. So what we need to do is we need to get all our parts together, almost, and then we need to take a look at the project folder to see what kind of information I have on this thing. So let's take a look at what I've stowed away in the deep cockles of my storage system. Project. There we go. Stream. What do we call this? I think we called it Octopedal. We're just looking for the pedal files right now, right? No, O for Octo. There it is. All right, Octopedal. So what do we got in here? We got some drawings that are SVGs. I don't know what those are all about. What saves as drawing? Oh, that would be the Octo logo. I forget who made that logo. Somebody in chat was very insistent on making the logo. Expertly drawn schematic. All right, that's going to be important. So this is a digispark, but these are the extra things. So the extra things are one singular neopixel, which is a programmable RGB LED. We only need one. It's bright enough to completely and utterly illuminate the 3D print from behind. It does a really good job of that. I'm going to need to use ultraviolet glue to fill in the eyes, so it's dust proof. And then we have our Hall effect sensor, I think, with 5 volts and then a 10K ohm pull up and then ground. And that's really it. I think that's really it. A 1.5 kilo ohm resistor there on the one wire. Ground and 5 volts. And a 1.5 kilo ohm resistor there. A 4.7 just to smooth out everything. This one is polar, so I'll actually be able to find that value fucking capacitor in my shop. The Hall effect sensor is a through-hole device that's going to stick up from the board, and then we have got our attiny 85 over here. Now, the temptation is to build this on its own PCB, on a perforated prototyping board. I should have... Listen, guys. I should have printed PCBs for this thing from the get-go. I didn't know I'd be making 3. Neither did nobody knew that we'd be making 3 at the time. But if I made a PCB for this thing, this would be an assembly stream and not whatever the hell's going to happen coming up. I could have just done it, right? But instead, I might build this on a perforated prototyping board. I know I have all the parts. Yeah, always make a PCB. It's getting to that, isn't it? It's getting to that point where if I'm sending something to somebody, I should make a PCB, because that way I could just roll more PCBs and I can just build it in like 10 minutes, right? But yeah, we'll see. 68 ohms I know I have. 4.7 I know I have. The 3.6 volt Zener diodes I know I have. Neopixels I got tons of. The Hall effect sensors we've run into several times recently. 0.1 off, I ordered more of those. And the attiny 85 we know we have. So as long as we can configure it and get it running as the right thing, I can build a PCB that'll get like double-sided phone taped somewhere inside of this case, and then it's just a matter of positioning the Hall effect sensor so that we can see a powerful neodymium magnet. And you see what I mean about watching AVE? I just took on an AVE-ism and I didn't even realize it. A neodymium rare earth magnet will just have to get near this stuff. So let's take a look at the pedal, because this is what's gonna really set off this build. Now, I've done the 3D print. This is the long part. This is the part that takes some time. There are some issues with the 3D print, but not a lot. So I might be okay with this. The issues would be things like this that I don't really think I can correct too much. You know, there's always a little bit of jank to the 3D print. Overall, it's looking pretty good, though. I don't know what the hell happened with these. And there should be no supports on it at all. Maybe there were some, like, geometries that it didn't know what to do with. But other than that, I mean, it turned out pretty goddamn spectacular. The eyes are angry, the tentacles are there, the text is legible. I just have to kind of, like, pick out a little bit of material there. That's looking a little grody. But we'll build it with this for now, and then I'll make a determination about whether or not I want to swap it out. Because I got to do a lot of mailing. I got to take like a stack of stuff to the federal post office. Yeah, it seems like it almost seems like it was building like just support material for nothing. I don't know what the deal is. All right, so that's the 3D print. So we got that. We can at least build this thing up fully today. Let's take a look at our other hardware here. So I was sent the spectacular special super cable, which in this case is not Octojay trying to use his USB-C port with the square USB plug. Oh, the square USB plug, by the way, it's the only one I got. I got one sitting in the miscellaneous microcontrollers bin. So, but yeah, I specifically called for this USB type cable because it's strong. But in addition to having one of these cables, this also has this grommet at the end, this little pressure cable thing, because this is like an industrial foot pedal. This is meant to switch like 120 volts to stuff. So I was like, let's get one of these things in on it. And so what happens is this will plug in, and then this thing goes out around it and provides it with support. It's actually really, really strong in the end, because I mean you're gonna be fucking kicking this thing, right? So you want to make sure that if you accidentally kick the back end of it, you're not going to break anything. And I think the only thing that could possibly go wrong is maybe you flex the cable too many times, and that'll break the cable. But that's not going to happen for centuries. So yeah, having the USB connector not stick out of the back of the unit is kind of important, and that worked out really well. Again, another happy accident when you're building stuff. Yeah, this is like an industrial, like crazy welding foot pedal. Look at that thing. It's got screw holes, so if you want to actually screw it into your floor, you can go get your concrete anchors, and you can screw it into the floor of just attach it to the carpet with long wood screws that'll stick through the ceiling of the next floor. There's an adjustment here for the height of the actual pedal movement. It's got big spring. It has grippy thingy. It's got rubbly seal. It's got electrical warning. It's got big hole. This thing's got everything. It's great. You can also adjust the pedal on the shaft through these screws. Now inside is a totally different story as well. There's a lot more stuff inside. What's up, Glitch? There's a lot more stuff inside. And the thing is, inside of this, we've seen two different designs. So the original, the OG one, the one that went directly to Octojay, I actually took a long end mill and I went around this whole thing and I completely flattened it out. In the second version, the one where I built the little prototype PCB, I forget what Octojay's was like. I don't know if I did the prototype PCB for all of them. I think I did. I think we built it on one of those little breakout PCBs. But anyway, 3D print is delicious, way better than the stock print. Yeah, this is, you know, the design of, I didn't design this, the chat did, and Octojay approved it. So we just embossed it onto this piece. And this piece was just a measurement of the screw hole locations, and then, you know, the usual Fusion 360 chamfer and fillet until you're done. And then I kept the eyes open because there's going to be the circuits in the LED right below it. So when it goes red, it glows the entire thing. And when it goes, it's got a green status, and then it's got a blue. I forget what the color, blue, purple, or something like that. But anyway, the eyes will light up with the whatever the orange is going to block. I really wanted to use translucent or weird, you know, some of the newer filaments that I have that are cool. But Octojay insisted on the OG, so we're going with this. But yeah, so that's the Octopedal front panel. It benefits from the fact that everything doesn't need support, right? I didn't like minimize the sizes of anything. Nothing needs support on this design, and that's good. All right, so let's open this thing up and see what version of this thing we got. There's a big click noise to this pedal. We're getting rid of that. We're getting rid of that for the sole purpose of actually having the repeatability of having a non-physical switch. Also, this makes noise. So noise and push to talk is probably not good. So we'll just have a limit on it, and then the lighting will change in before version 3. Yeah, we open this one up, and it has a little diorama inside of it instead of the normal, like, 2 posts and stuff. All right, so big screwdriver. Where did my big screwdriver go? Well, I moved one screwdriver over to the desk for the Norn case design, but let's use the iFixit on this thing. iFixit screw kit. All right, 4 Phillips head screws, huh? Brave today. I see they're really switching it up with these 4 screws. Anyway. Yeah, these things are cool. I mean, they're not expensive, and it's like a really strong box. I just hear an explosion. No, not yet. It's like a really strong box, which is especially good because if you're wearing like giant like raver boots or well, raver boots are like snowshoes. No, it'd be like giant goth boots. You can smack the shit out of this thing and it'll still work. I mean, look at this rubber seal. Like, I mean, it's not going to be going underwater, but if you wanted to put it on your ship deck, I think I have a couple of these, or maybe I shipped them. I think I shipped this out. I sent Octojay a bunch of top covers in case he had a change of heart, but okay. Look at all this structure in here. So one of the things that we need to do is mount the actual USB plug, and then the electronics will go kind of vaguely in this area. So we got some screw holes here that we can take advantage of in order to put this together. So we could make our electronics right here utilizing these 2 screw holes. I'll make 2 holes for the USB connector once we figure out the position of it, and then a magnet will go over on this side so that when you press it, it'll get further away from the Hall effect sensor. I want to leave the Hall effect sensor so that it can be bent up in case this needs to be adjusted, up and down, right? And actually, I think the way I did one of them was having the Hall effect sensor next to it. But yeah, having that Hall effect sensor be adjustable is important so that you can get the appropriate feel for this. I think in one of the versions I cut this piece, and I forget why. Maybe to make more room for the electronics, but it looks like we'll be able to fit everything in this one. I don't have to flatten this whole area like I did in the other ones. Ideally it would just be, really should just make a circuit board for it. We don't have time to make a circuit board. Well, let's get the switch out of here. This is like a, oh, okay, hold on. We need a larger screwdriver than even this. Big Phillips head. Put it in the mill and flatten it anyway? Nah, I don't have time. Yeah, tracing around the magnet in case it gets moved during shipping. Yep. And the VHB tape to hold everything in. That's like serious fucking tape. All right, big screwdriver, because I just want these things to be out of here. I think you can use a flathead. I think these are the kind that have both, right? Yeah, I got to get this one done. What I would really like to do is, is design a circuit board for this, but that would take me a little bit of time. Yeah, Octojay was instrumental in the thermal cam because he was sick of seeing me burn my freaking hands on everything. So now I just burn my hands and then show everybody that my hand was hot. I was testing heat by poking things. The thermals are really amazing. They're really, really amazing for when you first turn the power on to a piece of electronics, because failure in electronics typically takes the form of overloading, usually because we're being dunces about the fucking thing, and we end up overloading whatever we're putting together, or you end up accidentally shorting something out, or you put a wrong value component in. That takes the form of heat. So when we first turn something on, we can take a look at it as it destroys itself, and then we all feel like a bunch of wingnuts. Yeah, this is a pretty serious 120 volt switch, and it makes a very, very strong clack sound, which I guess could be fine for the Octopedal. That could be totally perfectly fine for the Octopedal, but it is a loud click, and we are talking about a microphone environment. So, I mean, this is like a very satisfying click, and it would be kind of cool if I could just preserve these electronics. I could just I could just wang jangle the, what do you call it? The digispark into this thing and just have it rattle around in the case. But that's not, I don't know. I like the magnetic switch because that means that there's no failure mode for this thing. This thing would be running 5 volts instead of 120, so it'd probably last like 10,000 years. Yeah, this is a giant micro switch, and at this point I have enough that I could probably put them as limit switches on Burn the Subs. But anyway, we don't need any of that. We're not messing with any of that. This is our base. This right here. And actually, one of the, it's a macro. It's no longer a micro switch. You're right. This is definitely a macro switch. Macro Falco switch. Anyway, this thing. No matter how rough I am with this thing, it will survive. This thing right here, this pedal switch, we're gonna turn into a Hall effect switch. Now I'm not. I keep saying Hall effect. It's not gonna be Hall effect. Again, my understanding of software, it would be beautiful if I could build into it or put a potentiometer on it so that you could tell the microcontroller where to flip, like have the magnet there and have a Hall effect sensor that's going to give it an analog value that you could then choose where it's going to. We don't have that kind of technology, and this is going to be a quick project. So we're going to follow what we did before and just simply use like a reed switch style Hall effect, not like an analog Hall effect. So we're just going to be magnet or no. That's all we care about. And then you can physically move the sensor if you need to. And then if we want to do a revision 2.0, we'll save that for a couple months from now. Burn the Subs isn't working. Burn the Subs isn't working. So I want to work on Burn the Subs, okay? So I just want to get this thing done. I don't want to do all of those super duper features. I want to get this running. So we got to clear this thing out. Oops. Oops. There we go. So yeah, this is what we're working on. Let's get this thing out of there. I don't think we do commands lists. Can you go on Nightbot and figure that out? I don't like having a lot of commands for chat because then people overdo the commands, and your chat ends up being entirely commands, which is an IRC thing that has happened in the past. Ow! Okay, now I'm gonna sue. I'm gonna sue this company. The powder coating is very rough. Very rough, and I thought it was just junk. It probably was just junk at the bottom of this case, and I tried to brush it with my thumb, and it scraped off a bunch of my skin, my precious thumb skin. It's not that bad. It's not bad at all. But anyway, I did this. I've done this before with VW parts for the intake manifold of a VR6 Mark IV VW. I got way into powder coating, and I got an oven for free, hooked it up in the garage, and then I got the powder coating gun with the high voltage hookup and everything, which, boy howdy, powder coating is fucking fun. I love powder coating stuff, and I don't have a setup here to do that. But in the pasty, long time ago, I had a powder coating setup, and I did this guy was a detailer, and I did Lost Algorithm. Boy howdy, thank you for subbing. Man, there was not a lot of time between me saying boy howdy and Lost Algorithm subbing. I think he was waiting for me to say something notable. Lost Algorithm, thank you for the 39 months of a tier 1. I feel like I should mention Fatanon again because he did a tier 3, which is insane. You can't buy your way to moderation, okay? He did not do that, but out of the goodness of his heart. Holy shit. There's not a lot left in there. Anyway, so this guy's VR6 intake manifold, I had this cool method for making the powder coating matte black, even more matte blackier than it was before, right? And the way that I would do it is I would powder coat it with the material, and then I'd kind of like shake the gun and get a rough coat on top of that. So when you went to wipe off this intake manifold, all the rough stuff from the powder coating, it would tear up a paper towel. It would tear up a microfiber cloth. There wasn't a good way to dust it off. And I gave it to this guy, and he's like, oh my God, that's so amazing, thank you. And then he detailed my car. But like, we did an exchange of services. And then we sword fighted. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. The rough powder coating is not a great, it's not easy to clean. All right, anyway, it just reminded me of that. So yeah, let's figure out how we're going to put the USB socket into this thing. So I need to find my square USB socket. I found it, it's right here. I think this is the only one that I have left. I'd like to look through the drawers and see if I have another one, because there might be one without pin headers installed in it. We only ordered so many for the original project, and I kind of kept the others around in case I wanted to have just like a USB socket connect to stuff. Because I like these big square USB sockets. They're very strong. Putting these on the back of something that only needs USB 2 is great. They're very, very good. Modern USB-C sockets are actually really good too, so I don't mind using them. But I mean, this has the nice big screw holes that I can mount it with, and I think we used two plastic washers to offset that. So let me take a look at the drawers and see if we've got another one of those kicking a boot. Kicking a boot. Oh, and we're going to need an LED, and we're going to need a Hall effect sensor. So finding an IED is very easy around here. Oh, wait, no, that's not, I misspoke. Finding an LED is fairly easy around here. I've got this giant LED bin, and we're using specifically a NeoPixel, because that means we can have an RGB LED, and it only takes one pin of the microcontroller for R, G, and B. It just means you need a little computational overhead in order to perform the digital speaking to your LED. So this is the old school LED drawer. A lot of projects passed. We only need this little guy right here. Ace 1907, thank you for following. Ta-da. That's it. That's all we need. This little guy right here. All right. Now that we can install directly on the circuit board, or we can install using its little home there. I might just desolder it from that and put it directly onto the circuit board. Yeah, they're easy to plug in, they're strong. I like them a lot. Unfortunately, they're like obsolete now, and the USB 3 version of them is dumb. All right, I'm looking through drawers right now to see, man, it's so much easier to get into my parts now that I've moved my other desk away. Let's see, USB sockets, those are, no, not quite. No. All right, next drawer. Okay, so that's the only one I have. Unless there's like a hidden magical drawer that has another one. I thought I saw another one. I could have sworn. Yeah, I don't see him. Okay, so we don't have any more of those. That's the last one. We gotta make it work. Oh, wait a minute. No, never mind. We don't have to make it work. We can make this one work. Never mind. I had two. Ta-da. The one bin that I took out and didn't look through. Okay, let's see here. My mic cable is not in the stool. That's good. All right, so our USB socket and layout is the first set of holes that we got to drill in this thing. So the question is, how am I going to mount this, and how's it going to stick around? So I'll unfurl my cable, put that through there, plug it in, and now we get to figure out where exactly it's going to live. Looks like I might need the mill on this. No. I can fit that. I could do this. So let's see. That's not the only part of the story here, though. We need to get this involved. We need to figure out exactly where this thing is going to go. Oh, that's right. I remember this. I remember this. So here's a little trade secret. Here's a little trade secret if you can't get something to fit quite right. A repair ream. These are important. These are very good. You want your holes to be circular. You want them to be large enough to just barely fit what's going through them. Standard sizes aren't necessarily going to apply. You just give it a little wang jangle with that. And I probably removed too much material just then. Whew. Nope, not quite enough. Not quite too much enough. So I need to just do a little bit until I can get it into this thing. I don't think this fits through. Yeah, that's long from fitting through. So yeah, we just need to barely walk back the material until this grommet fits over the USB. This might be even more straightforward than the Norn project, to be honest. I just wish I remember the layout of where I put everything on the board, because then I could just copy what I did before. It's just these mechanical steps are going to take us a hot minute. I'm going to be very careful about this. I don't want to go too far, because this thing is supposed to have a tapered inside, and that tapered inside is going to squish this stuff down around the cable base so that we can get a nice good support on there. Although, to be honest, we're not going to be able to taper down to squish that, and I don't think I want to squish the end of that unless I want this sticking out. We'll see where we get with that. We'll see what exactly happens. So just very carefully linishing back the outside of this thing until it barely fits that connector. The things I do. I keep like smelling hazelnut, and I don't know if that's because I've somehow, in that old sriracha that I had sitting around, bred some kind of a chemical weapon. So I'm getting, here we go, see? Just barely fits. I've bred some kind of a chemical weapon by having a bacteria proliferate inside a hot sauce bottle, or if it's because my morning coffee was a little bit hazelnutty. I don't think it was. Okay, we got another thing. We got another thing. Oh yeah, that rubber's gonna just go. We'll just insert that right now. You like those things that tell you like what chemical weapons smell like, and they're like, oh, this one smells like hazelnut, and you're like, oh, that's pleasant. It's like, and then you drown in your own spit. It's like, oh. Oh, that doesn't sound so good. Ah! See, I'm opening up the, there's like a collar inside of this thing, and I'm kind of like opening it up, because we don't need that to do anything on this. So if I linish this one back too far, it's not a big deal. Musty hay. That is kind of what the hot sauce tasted like. That's why I was a little concerned. I was like, there's like a kind of like a musty hay flavor in the background of this thing. I said yesterday it tasted a little bit like wheat. Like, did I manufacture a chemical weapon in my sriracha that I left out for too long? I hope not. Jeez. I'm just trying to get all the little hairs of plastic out of here. Like anthrax in my fucking hot sauce. Oh, is this getting caught up initially too? Yikes. How did we get this to go last time? How did we get this to work? I know I didn't break the cable. I think maybe I had a different grommet that I used, but we can make this one work still. I mean, this is basically just back-end cable support, right? So you don't end up stomping it. I just need to get the repair vise, or the repair ream to go all the way through. Ow, man. One problem with the repair ream is that it's tapered, so if I get the back end to go, oh, there we go, okay. That's everything. Up, up, up. All right, so that's through there. Step one done. Should make a how-to for this thing. I don't think this is what kind of plastic is this? That says IP68. I don't know if that's a plastic marking. See this? The egg sandwich is like making me hiccup hard. I don't get it. Okay, so these two, don't tighten that down. Plug this thing into here. ABS. Okay. Well, it's mixing with a bunch of other stuff in here, so I don't think I'll trust it to make filament out of. We're not that frugal around here. Maybe frugal. We're not that frugal. We're like a flugelhorn. Yeah, so it looks like it does stick out of the end. So if this is like that, that's tough to mount. And it seems like the contacts are going to scrape if I'm not careful. So this might be the type where I do actually need to remove material from the base in order to get this thing centered. So I may have to use the milling machine in the end. Yeah, that's going to center that a little bit. Yeah, it does need to go lower. You can see that it's kind of like, it's kind of pushed up right here. No, he didn't destroy the old pedal. Yeah, I was going to say, Celia remembers this build. No, he's gifting one for the holidays, so I'm building him another one. And hopefully we can get it done today. So what I need to do is I need to get the milling machine and just flatten this section right here. Unfortunately, I think the other version of this pedal doesn't have a flat section right here. And I'm a little concerned about rust in these things. I don't think they'll rust because they're indoors, right? They're indoors in a cool environment. So I think they'll be okay. It's just when I mill stuff down like that, I don't know, it seems like I'm doing a disservice. I remember one of the versions of this, I cut this too. We're not going to do any of that. Let me get this ground lug out of here. And what I'll do is just very haphazardly, I'm going to take the milling machine. I'm going to take a big end mill. We already have a big end mill on there. I think I want to put a different one on there. I'd totally build one if I use push-to-talk. Yeah, me too. Me too. But I don't use push-to-talk. But yeah, I mean, having like a foot pedal for stuff is good. The only problem is when you're sitting at a chair, this is a weird angle. If you're standing up, your whole foot can float. But if you're sitting down, you're going to try to like put your heel down and do this. And it can, I don't know, it can lead to some bad stuff. I mean, that's the whole Tom Thinks button that we did. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take an end mill and I'm just going to go burp on this whole thing and just flatten all this stuff out. Actually, you know what? I'm probably just going to flatten here and up and around, right? Just right around like this. You've been around. What are you talking about? And I'm going to use these two screw holes to mount our circuit board. And hopefully we can make that small enough that it'll fit in with everything else. It's not like we don't have enough room. I just want it to be, you know, KSS. I want it to be as simple as possible. I mean, they have 4 mounting points, right? So if I built one singular circuit board for everything, I would just be in circuit board building heaven, because I could just boop, 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 and then I could just have the one connector out the back. But we got to flatten this out so that this board fits. And it'll probably fit in there on two plastic washers. We'll mark out the holes, drill them, and then tap them. But for now, we need to just flatten this out. So let's go do that. Actually, I need to pull you guys along with me over to the mill, where one of the lights has stopped working, and I don't know why. I don't know why this light stopped working. I'm a little annoyed with it because I kind of need it today. Hey, light. What's your dumbass problem, light? Come here. Come here. Where's that cable going? Your power supply fail? No. It's perfectly... the other one works. What's wrong with you? Alright, it's a mystery. Well, that lamp sucks. Alright, let's get this light in there then. I need to undo... It's like I can't move around the shop without having stuff go wrong. All right. Dear God, just cut and paste the message already. Oh, the app kept crashing. All right. It's like, man, you have no information retention. All right, this is going over here. I gotta use a big studio light to give you guys a picture of what's going on over here. Okay. Now, these don't angle down very... I gotta reconfigure this. Hold on. These don't like to angle down unless you put them in the sideways configuration, which is like this. And then all the weight is out over one leg of the tripod, so they fall over very easily. This is the Julian light from the other day. Is that like springy? Okay. That should give you guys some idea of what's going on. If you could actually look at what's going on, like that. That's way too bright. I'll dim it down a little bit. It's actually not that bright. It's just the camera. Maybe warm it up a little bit. No, why is it so bright? Why are you so bright? Calm down, light. Yeah, I guess it's just the color of the foot pedal. All right, let's get this out of the way. Yeah, it's like ridiculously bright. I don't know why. If I like center this a little bit more, it'll calm down. If I calibrate the camera, hold on. Yeah, there we go. Nope, never mind. Maybe one of those pedals you got into a homemade wood lathe, a friend of mine. So if he releases the pedal, step on it, cuts the power. Huh, that's cool. That's a good use for one. Can we use this? I think we can use this. But this is in like the wrong quill. Yeah, we should. This is a disaster. Hold on. This is a disaster waiting to happen. We only used this because I didn't have a drill bit that was large enough. So instead of that, we're going to use an actual end mill on a end mill holder, which will provide the amount of friction to hold the thing steady and get this wire off of the mill. And then we take the hammer for the drawbar. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? I don't know. Where is my... Oh, there it is. Got him. Okay. So we'll do one of these. Get this thing up there. Get this thing up there. Release it. And then give it a bop on the head. Bop. Okay. Then we put this thing up here. And we put one of these up there. Tighten it up. Ready to go. Ready to go, boss. All right, so we got that done. How the hell did we hold this thing down last time? Does this go wide? I think this goes wide enough to hold it down. I know. I got all the money, right? Tens of thousands of dollars were spent. No, they weren't. How did I hold this thing down last time? Did I just clamp it down to like the thing? Well, I'm gonna try to get it to actually clamp in the vise because I'd appreciate it being held still. Vise has a little bit more room to give. Let's get all the chips out of here from the last thing I milled. Don't remember what it was. It was the thing from the thing that we did for the thing. What was that thing? There's a reason we had the big drill bit in there. All right, all the way open. Get all the chips out of there so it doesn't drag a chip under. That barely goes out this far. I've not really very often done this. But I think we have the capability. Anyway. Yes, okay, good. Good. That saves me a lot of trouble. All right, that's where it's going to be down and even though it's not going to get... It'll get a majority of it in the vise there. We didn't have to do this for the other one because it was flat in that area. It had like a thing to clamp down a cable or something. What? Yeah, one of them. I'm wondering. One of them had. One of them had 2 posts to clamp down the cable. One of them was like this, and it was flat. I think the one with the posts is the one that we had to mill, but this, when the cable is in there, the socket is like this, and I'm not going to accept that. I can't accept that. And I can't move it forward, otherwise the contacts are up against, the contacts for the USB socket are up against the, that bottom piece. Did we file down the contacts in order to get it to do that? I just don't want it to short out and start a fire, you know? So I want to get the end mill down there and just flatten it out a little bit, and then we can put it in there. Because yeah, I don't think we filed, because I could file this down and put a piece of tape under it, and then maybe it'll fit flat, but it would be too close. So yeah, what we're doing is we are coring out. You guys can't really see it. Coring out the front of this thing. Hey, Twisted Sister, how you doing? Tesla's piercing gaze. What? 48 months. Common law married? No. No, we're not. I don't understand what you're talking. He's like moon speak. Like, what is this? All right, let's get the end mill ready to go. We don't need the DRO, which is off. Did I turn that off? I don't remember turning this thing off. What happened to my DRO? Did I unplug it? Maybe when I tugged on the cables a minute ago, it unplugged. Hey, where the fuck? All right, weird stuff going on around here. Okay, well, anyway, we're set to just flatten this thing out a little bit. Lock the quill. Making a foot talk. Yeah, it's the same pedal. No, I don't think I've seen yours. Yeah, 48 is 4 years, huh? Pretty nuts, man. Yeah, it's been a slow climb, right, with the stream? And I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I love all the new people that we've been seeing around, but man, it has been a long time, hasn't it? Like I say constantly, the next step is YouTube videos. Once I get those, then more people will follow. I'm just here to torment you. Yeah, about right. I gotta pause because something didn't seem right. That felt like everything was twisting. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just hallucinating. It felt like as soon as I started to bite in, it started to go weird. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Twisted did his own version, which is a lot simpler, but it'll still make the clicky noises. But it's just got, yeah, it's just got a Pro Micro, it looks like, and then it's just wanged into the switch, and then the switch just gets USB. Everything's coming up twisted. Yeah, yeah. See, I did the Hall effect sensor because I don't want any mechanical. The only mechanics I want in it are the. Oh, maybe that's why it's twisting, because it's clamped to this a little bit. Yeah, I wanted everything on the pedal. And then no mechanical stuff here and no clicking noise. You like the clicky? Maybe people would like the clicky. I don't know. I do it the way I do it. I'm going very slow because I'm biting a lot off. Looks like I can go faster. Oh my God. All the chips inside of it moved in sequence with one another. So I thought I thought the whole piece was moving. Oh, maybe it is. Jesus Christ, what the fuck was that? We'll bite off a little less this time. Holy shit. It is not clamped in well. All right, I'm going to lower it just slightly for a beauty pass. All right, good enough. So the clamping was partially on the top of the pedal, and also that taper you can see right there. Oh no, you can't. You can't. Hold on. Right there. You can see it kind of like wriggling its way free. Probably should have clamped it like the opposite way around, or move this back this way more, but there are feet underneath here that were keeping me from getting a good grip. So, I mean, probably the best way to do it would have been to go through it directly to the table. I didn't want to hone in my my vise or anything like that. So the name of the game was being very careful, but as usual, it's kind of janky. It's always kind of janky around here, but this should be good enough for electronics anyway. We've flattened out a little landing place for the USB connector, and so this thing can get off of the healing bench here. Crank. This is a hand crank. It's a 2-to-1 ratio, but it's still a very heavy top piece for the mill. I'd love to do that counterweight project. Counterweight and 3-phase motor. Time. Time is my enemy. Okay. And it doesn't look amazing, but it doesn't look totally amateur. We now have a flat spot. Oh, you guys are a bunch of ninnies about safety. Whatever. I'm fine. All right. Oh, yeah, that's the camera. Come back here. Ugh. Bruh. Okay. So, yeah, what it was doing is it was gripping up here. And I could potentially take these screws off and like disassemble the whole thing and then get that in the vise for machining. But we're good. Yeah, and look, I take safety seriously. Twitch is just Twitch. And you guys are constantly whining about something, and it's like, give me a break. You know? I gotta clap back at some point. It's not like I don't believe in safety or anything stupid like that. I just don't believe in listening to chat. Look at your donations. Did I miss one? Huh. I don't see anything. I mean, I got a subscriber just now. Little Fluffy Cloud, thank you for the tier 1 for 11 months. Love the variety in your work, always interesting. Thank you. So, hold on. I should have Streamlabs open. Let's refresh that and see what happens. And Streamlabs is working, so donations should be going through. What the hell? Nothing. Fluffy Cloud, twiztedsizter, algorithm, Johnson. Ah! What are you doing? Fat on and nothing's working. Fat on tier 3. Raids and stuff from last week. They're the ones handling all that, so. Also, fuck Streamlabs. I know. I need to. Oh, I didn't even see it. $40 for 4 years. Never stop doing it your way. That's what we're here to see. Also, fuck Streamlabs. Hell yeah. How did that come through in Streamlabs but not in Streamlabs? What the like, look, here's my personal information. Here's my PIN number and my social security. It's not in here. What the fuck? Oh, wait, you know what? That might be my fault. That is totally my fault. Totally my fault. Thank you for the $40. We haven't had a donation in like 6 years. So it's not necessarily Streamlabs, but still fuck Streamlabs. I will be moving off of them once I get around to it. Somewhere that has more powerful animation tools for me to do those alerts a little bit better. Pebcac. Yeah, I know. It happens. Hey, if you guys ever stream, you gotta know, like leave your ego behind. Because every single tiny little mistake that you make is going to be put on the forefront by these assholes right over here. It happens. I mean, especially when you're programming on Twitch, they will point out everything, and every single mistake you make is the most heinous thing a streamer could possibly ever do. This happens with game streams a lot, and you wonder why why broadcasters are so prickly on Twitch. It's because every single thing you do is going to be up at the forefront and highlighted, and so you gotta have a pretty strong defensive mechanism, and usually it's verbally browbeating. So yeah. Yeah, Streamlabs is bad. They stole OBS. I don't use slobs, but twiztedsizter gifted a sub to Noobsin. Thank you for the gifted sister. The gifted sister twisted sub. You guys smell toast? Somebody's making toast. Yeah, so I was telling everybody earlier that I signed up for the EVGA like graphics card raffle. That came up last night. It came up last night and it said I had 20 hours, but then a couple hours later it said I only had 5 minutes or something like that. It's gone. I came up in the raffle and I looked at my bank account and I went, I can't, $2,000, I'm not going to do a 3090. With 3090 would take with it the enlarging of the case project, the enlarging of the power supply project, and a bunch of other stuff. What do I have right now? A 1080 FTW. It's fine. I can play everything on it. I've never had a problem with that card at all. The only thing about that card is that I expected it to go into the stream computer that I'm still working on and get water cooled, because I was going to do a fully water cooled stream computer just for fun. But yeah, the 3090 came up in the raffle and went. I took one look at the bank account and I went, no, don't do that. Don't send me a 2080. No, I'm good. If I'm doing nope. I'm not. If I do the new graphics card, that's a bunch of content that I can do, and then I can do the trickle down the lane thing here, because I have a water block for the 1080 FTW. So no, I don't want to do the graphics card exchanges. I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate it, but yeah, I'm good. All right, so this connector fitting in here. Supposedly. What's going on? This is the way it fits. Why is it not fitting that way? Did it? I stutter? What's going on here? Hold on. It's like resisting a little too much. Hold on. You won the Newegg lottery for a 3090. Yeah, 1 equals get to spend. That's same. I won the EVGA, not lottery. It's not a lottery. It was just literally like your position in the queue is up, and I'm like, this is the worst fucking time because I'm about to like, hey, I bought a plane ticket 2 days ago, and then it's like, hey, you want to spend a couple thousand on a new thing? And I'm like, no, what the fuck? I don't have that money. I'm miffed, but at the same time, like, it would take me at least a year. Yeah, you got the EVJ wish list, but ended up getting a 3070. Like, I mean, maybe I can like get ahead of some of those things and actually like, son of a bitch, we got to go back. We have to go back. Actually, I don't know if we have to go back. Hold on. If I loosen this up, can I get this further forward? Yeah, we don't have to go back. We don't have to go back to the mill. We do have to be careful about these pins, though, because I think they're going to get pretty close to the bottom metal. Like contact close to the bottom metal. Yeah, it looks like we're clamping the very end of the connector. Really? It's the worst deal? I don't know. The 3090 is a pretty bad deal, let's be honest. You're getting like a 2% performance increase for how much money? Yeah, I guess we're clamping onto the very end there, and that's going to keep the cable from getting any sharp angles on it, which is good. That is good. That is a good thing. So we're going to be placing this right here. My only concern is I can feel the pins hitting up against the bottom there. And I can probably give that a little bit of height. Hopefully, not hopefully. We're going to make sure that it doesn't short anything out. But first we need to make the holes for the actual USB connector. So that I'm going to use a very advanced technique for. This is something that only really resonates in the inner circles of project people. I'm just going to scratch it with a pin. I'm just scratch it with a pin. Very secretive technique. I got to hold it still, so I got to put pressure on it. And I just scratch a little hoop. 3060 Ti. Might be a downgrade from my 1080. With a 1080 FTW that I have not had any trouble running any game, which is why I am not pushing to get a graphics card at all. I'm just disappointed that I didn't have the funds. I am not a top number streamer. You know, that whole leak, everybody, all these popular streamers were like, oh my God, look at my number. And I'm like, I'm not even popular enough to be on the list. I wasn't even on the list. They don't care about me at all. I can't see my markings. Yes, I can. All right, so drill press or hand drill? I don't know. We will be using, not these actually. We're not going to be using these standoffs. Because like these are good for the other circuit boards and stuff, but they're too big for the holes. Too small for the holes. But I don't know, I mean, these are too big, obviously. So we need, I think it was 2 plastic washers and then 2, probably just screws and nuts to go through that stuff, right? Yeah, I don't know. It puts your face into knowing how much these guys make. It's a lot of money, but that's why they're here. You got to pay your employees, So if that's there, and then I think what it was is we wanted to put the other circuit board up on standoffs so that it just sits in the back, right? Yeah, that's the thing, is diversifying your income on the platform. We also want that LED to be as far away as possible, but I think the standoff board on the back end here is what we do. I think that'll be the best way to do it, because then everything is attached to these 2 screw posts. And then I guess I could have standoffs coming up from that and attaching another board on top of it with 2 screws. So I will have 2 screws that go through the bottom, through a plastic washer, and then have a standoff on top of it with either a hole for a screw to go down or a threaded post for a nut. What's that gonna look like? Let's get some hardware. Let's put our hardware where our mouth is for some reason, which is very unsanitary. Yeah, that'll be the size right there. So that one. And this one. Get these two, and then we get laptop screws, because they're my favorite. Laptop screws. Bam. Laptop screws. We got two of them that have a substantial amount of length to them, because we need to also have the washers on there. Those fit in? Those fit in. All right. So we got two of those going down like that. And then I need two more to come up from the top. I think I've decided to make a PCB for this, because I think that'll be fun. And it shouldn't take too long. I just need to make sure I get all the connections, you know, in the right places. It'll be a little bit more professional. All right, those are our two standoffs. Yeah, that one, that was an industrial supplier though. That wasn't like a game like savvy company, right? The industrial supplier that I searched out to get good motors from was like, they gave me a lot of actually really good feedback. And obviously I'm reading this feedback and I'm like, what the fuck did you just say about me? But that's natural, right? You have somebody criticizing your life's work and you're like, how dare you? But they were just criticizing one video, and the stuff that they were saying makes perfect sense. I mean, from an industrial supplier's standpoint, like cursing is anathema, you know, all that stuff. They had a bunch of other advice, and they were like, maybe if your videos were more educational or whatnot. I'm like, nah, I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think I'm going to kowtow to industrial overlords for this show. Because we're entertainment here. We're not... I educate, but we are primarily entertainment. But don't tell Fusion that. Don't tell Fusion that. They'll revoke my license. They'll revoke my educator's license to Fusion 360. That would be terrible. That'd be so sad. All right, I'm going to try to get these as centered as possible. Clank. God, that was really loud. That like hurt my ears. Hopefully the compressor got it. Switch to SolidWorks. No, wait, I'd have to pay for that. We'd use SketchUp. SketchUp 360. Full service. Oh, I lost viewers. What did I do? Maybe it was all the cursing. Maybe it was the machining. So these are, by the way, this is gapped. I don't know what size these drill bits are. I really need to like reinvent my drill bit organizer. I love SolidWorks, but they just shafted their EDU license with the cloud garbage. What did they do? Wait, what did they just do? Or was this the thing that was like a couple months ago? Because yeah, I've got the EDU license. I know they've been working on restricting that, which I don't like. My King of Pulleys. I used to live in King of Prussia. Ah, King of Pulleys. Thank you for following. I got a couple pulleys over there that I want to add to the milling machine. I just like the cleanliness of Fusion 360. I really love. I wish I could afford to buy like a normal license for it, and I'm very concerned about the stuff that they're doing with their licenses because I'm a Fusion Eagle, or I'm an Eagle guy. I'm an Eagle guy. I love spending $30 a year on a comprehensive hobbyist CAD software that can do circuit boards. And Eagle got bought by Fusion, and so now we are subject to this new sort of like, not new, but the software model where they're, instead of charging you like a yearly fee, it's like a monthly fee, and it costs as much as the yearly fee. I like features as much as everybody else, and I know CAD software isn't cheap to develop. Man, that free, like open freeness of AutoCAD is really cool, but they're going down a road. Yeah, they were gonna make like a maker license and like, you know, but they're going down this road where it's like they gotta show profit increase over year. And I think the inversion, and this is something that like I feel kind of strongly about, the inversion of the people actually doing the stuff to the people managing the people doing stuff. It's become an inverted pyramid, And there are too many people monitoring the people that are doing the stuff, not enough people doing the stuff. And so you get this road that they go down where they got to make more and more money, and so they restrict more and more stuff. I don't know. I see it happening, and I've seen it happen to software companies and businesses and hospitals, and it's a mad, 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 mad world, everybody. So here are the holes that I've punched in, and I've got a drill bit size that's slightly above the screws so that they don't bite into the edges. Hopefully we don't screw this up. This is kind of a tough project to screw up. This is a very straightforward kind of thing. Love Autodesk, but they keep buying everyone up and have been for years. It hasn't been better for the community. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. I know what you mean. But I do love the clean presentation of their software. And it's the workflow that I've gotten, that I've cut my teeth on. It's the workflow that I started with. What the fuck happened to our holes? Wait a minute. What the hell? Oh, man. One of these holes is going to be an oval. Shit. I thought that was completely and utterly aligned. Maybe we can get away with it. Yeah, I know. Well, maybe there will be a bit of an awakening for them. Who knows? I've seen it happen. Seen it happen to all kinds of places, but whatever. I know. Oh my god, my streamer said something else that wasn't accurate. What did I say about eating crow? You gotta be used to it? Yeah, we can still get this to work. It's just a little bit off. All right, let's get some washers in here, and we can see if I can get away with the difference in hole sizes. So where were those plastic washers? What did I do with those? Yeah, if you do projects, you're gonna run into this stuff time and time and time again. So consider this a lesson. Oh, these are nice. I could use these. Could I use these? Are these too small? Oh, whatever. Let's not change hardware around. Plastic washers. I don't get it. I think I punched the hole off a little bit. Or the drill bit wandered. They always do that. That's why using the drill press is so much better. You don't really wander in the drill press. Damn. Still looking. I've got a whole bin full of, there we go. I thought I had a bin full of plastic. This is plastic hardware. This isn't plastic washers. Yeah, those aren't plastic washers. Although I might need those later. But let's get this one. I think there were some plastic washers in here. Let's see here. Tweezers. You guys don't get full light while I do this. I'll just find these real quick. There were a bunch of the plastic washers in here, and I just need to find 2 of them. I had a bin full of the plastic washers and plastic hardware. I don't know what happened to it. I think it's still down there. I just have to look for it a little better. But this, I know there's some in here because we found them all last week. Found all of them last week. Actually, on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we had a bunch of the plastic washers from in here out on the desk. So that's what I'm looking for. Well, these are rubber. I'll actually give it a little wiggle room. Nah. Nah. Find the rubber. I mean the plastic, not the rubber, not the rubber. Looking for the plastic washer. So if it seems like this project goes smoothly, it's because I've done 2 of them before. This is the 3rd one that Damn it! That was a drop. This is the 3rd one of these that I've built. There's another drop, and I don't even know what that was. Ugh. Okay, there's one. One plastic washer. Smaller than I thought. That's why I'm not finding them so easily. It's like looking for Lego. I need a blue 2-pin, two square, 2 whatever. That's metal. That's a little glossier than the plastic. That's deceptive. Specifically looking for plastic because we're trying to, like... Actually, you don't need plastic. Well, I'm afraid that the washer is going to contact pins, and I don't want to short anything. So plastic will be a nice little buffer. Here's another. That's also metal? Maybe it's not. Hold on. Nope, that one's plastic. Okay, so there's 2 plastic washers. 2 plastic washers. Well, we might still need the drill. I might need to stretch that hole. Don't take me out of context, kids. All right, so this is the tough part of the build, which is that I need to put the hardware under this thing in the right position while it's plugged in, so I can get everything in the right spot. But we will then deconstruct it and build the rest of the circuit off of that once I know that we're done with this step. Or sure. Let's get the screw into that one first. Here. Get you guys a little closer so you can see what I'm actually doing. And focus camera, because visuals I have to constantly be on top of on this show. And then get a screwdriver, because we didn't have enough tools out on the table already. Here, use this one. Right. From below, you guys... Man, if I move... You guys get up here, you stay up here. I'm gonna lift everything, and then I'll come up and through. Damn it. I just heard the washer scooch away. Scooching. I mean, maybe a better way to do this would be to use a plastic nut, and then I could capture the screw. Maybe that is the better way to do this. Probably what I did before. How much taller does this need to be? Yeah, we can use a plastic nut on this. All right, hold on. Let me go get that other thing that we had out. A plastic nut will hold things in place. And then this won't be such a struggle. So I'm going to release this whole thing. One of these. Although these are those going to bite? Negative. Huh. What if we use a plastic standoff and a plastic screw and everything's plastic? Probably not going to work out that well, huh? Yeah, I need larger holes, which I need anyway, but let's go back to metal. Or at least for this one. Okay. I can't pick it up. My nails aren't long enough. All right, like that. Like this. And then this thing on top. Yeah, this is kind of a difficult assembly here. And then this. Not ideal. Not ideal. Not a bag of Milky Ways. How you doing? I can feel that scraping on the metal. Ugh. Yeah, we're gonna have to put tape and maybe sand down the contacts a little bit. And then also, I gotta make sure that hole works. Hopefully it does. This one's the longer one. This one's the plastic one. Yeah, that one makes metal noise. All right, it goes under here. It's a little janky. It's a little janky. I should probably have like a bona fide standoff on this thing. That way it can attach and retain its connector. The other way to do it would be to retain the screw on the bottom of the enclosure, like with like a riveting standoff, but yeah, we're not going to do that. All right, so how much wiggle room is there in these? If I loosen both of these, I might be able to straighten out a little bit, but I also am probably a little bit up Schitt's Creek here in terms of the placement of the holes, because they were really fucking crooked. They were really goddamn crooked. That's very close to working out, but it doesn't. It's very close to working out, but it doesn't. So I have a couple choices here. I can widen the holes through the bottom of the enclosure, or I can stretch the holes on the actual PCB. I am thinking that I want to stretch the holes on the actual PCB because I don't want to ruin the sort of sealing of the enclosure. But let's see what happens when we do this. Is this going to fit in? No, that's off by a little bit. Here, let's loosen that up. I can scooch that upwards. No, not going to do it. Yeah, we're off by just a little bit. I remember doing this with the other one too. So we're going to have to stretch. Which one? How far off are we? We're not that far off, let's be honest. Actually, don't think I need to... I mean, it's crooked, but it could be okay like that. I think maybe this one here, I need to just move a little bit. I think we'll be okay if I do that. Of course, that means that the circuit board on top of it's going to be crooked too. I should have used the mill. I should have used the mill. Should have used the mill. Wait, the connector is crooked in the PCB. Did I do that? Or is that just the way it was? It's actually off by a little bit because it's soldered in crooked. Huh. Weird. All right. Now I'm scared. So yeah, let's move this one up this way a little bit. This isn't a very good way to do it, but... Okay. That's like a barely did anything. I have a bunch of USB, like regular USBs. I don't have a lot of the square ones. That's what, you know. I mean, like I have tiny end mills that I could put on in the drill, but I want it to not move it very quickly because I want this to be a slight adjustment and not a broad slot that I suddenly machine into this thing. Subgonad, we're stretching holes if that's, you know, if that's what you're into. Always stretching holes around here. I think this will work out. I mean, if I could just, no, I think that'll work. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to keep those washers in place. That wasn't going out. That was groovy something. What the hell? You guys with your green names that start with a G and sending Thurston Waffles emotes. Mistook you for probably working on a giant organ right now. Like a big heart. Okay, get that up through there. Get the standoff on top of it before everything in here shifts and I have to do it again. I remember this being kind of a difficult part of both builds. I mean, I could flip the connector around and have it be upside down, and then the circuit board would be suspended over top. But I don't think that's a good idea. There's no washer in there because it fell out. Ugh. This is where I get angry. All right, maybe I can use these as standoffs. Maybe just with a little metal nut. Because these will be a little taller. So maybe the contacts won't scrape, and they'll be a little bit more narrow. And they'll hold that screw in place. Might need longer screws, but let's just try this. See, if I had made a circuit board, I could have designed it around the interior stuff of this pedal, and then we would have just been like program attiny, solder it onto the board. Bob's your uncle, right? That's not what we get today. I get to manhandle the bejangles of all this stuff and get it all properly situated. Damn it. Here. Come here. This kind of enclosure stuff is always a little bit frustrating, especially when you're using a hand drill and Your holes are all over the place. I don't think that'll clear the circuit board, so I gotta find longer hardware. Yeah, let me do that before I get caught up, before I get too many steps ahead, right? That'll do. That'll do, that'll do, that'll do. We're just gonna make a little stack of 2 circuit boards out of this thing, and there'll be a standoff going in between them. Of course, we need it to be unpluggable so that you can actually operate on those standoffs. Yeah, I would have to pad out the rest of the string. Look, if I can get the thing built faster, I'm happy. If we're doing it this way, if we're doing it the manufacturing way. I do kind of want to even out those holes, though. Man, those are so far off from one another, aren't they? I don't know. I don't know how I can do it, though. Okay, what the... I'm like, it's like cross-threading. Hold on. Are these English size and the screws are metric? I don't think so. I think they're all metric. Just need them to... Ugh! Just need them to line up, and that's the hardest part. Or this one's cross-threaded? What's going on here? I'm feeling all kinds of weird shit coming from the screws. There it goes. Okay. It was just a little bit of a weird angle, I guess. One. See the long one? Oh, I need my screwdriver bit. Are you stealing my bits? This one. Through the top. I'm hoping here that this will be a one-stream project. If it's not, it's going to be easy to finish it up on Friday, but all I really have to do is flash that attiny 85, get it onto a circuit board with the schematic stuff, and then we can investigate whether or not it's named the right thing. And if it's not, that's when things are going to get kind of lengthy. So I need to make sure that all my weird stuff is in... Can I get that? Hold on. All my weird stuff is in the digispark files. That is so crooked. I had to do this with the other one too. I made the same mistake. Oh, this will be so easy. All I need to do is just drill 2 holes. Oh no, one of them is completely off from the other one. This is exactly what happened to the other one. Also, this thing's way too high up. It needs to be down. Maybe that's why they're off, because it ended up going at a weird angle. It's all right, though. We got wiggle room. We're going to use it. Screws are indeed giving me shit. Give me the worst of the shits. Now here's a cool tool that I think you guys should all have. Actually, you know what? It comes as part of this screwdriver kit, so never mind. These things are so much more useful than they have any right to be. These little hex socket screwdriver tips are actually kind of great for things like... No, it's too small. For things like standoffs and, you know, the occasional nut. Remember, all things in moderation. This message is brought to you by the occasional nut. All right, so yeah, standoffs. Oop, I'm going to tighten them down and see if they're in a good position. Cable. Whoa, that thing is way off to the side. Dear God. What the fuck? I think it's the socket is also a little wanky. But like, look at that. Oh, damn it. All right. Not much I can do about it. Damn, I should have done the mill, and I could have DRO'd it, and I could have gotten it perfect. Doesn't need to be perfect, though. It just needs to work. And this works. It's not contacting at all. And that tightens down on top of it. And then who the hell knows what's going on inside? Right? I mean, we'll know. We'll know that it's off. But we don't need to tell anybody. We don't need to tell anybody that's off. It's fine. Oh yeah, so the advice on loosening it is to loosen the outside collar first. Always. Then the inside. But yeah, it still grips the USB socket. It doesn't appear to be at any dangerous angles. It's at this exact same angle throughout plugging it in. I mean, this thing has enough wiggle room to go like that. So yeah, it looks good from the outside and it'll function well. If you need to unplug it, you'll go, wow, that's off, but it's fine. So yeah, let's get going on the rest of this design. So we're gonna have 2 screws coming up from the top. Let's clean off the desk a little bit here because we got a lot of stuff to do now. Got a lot of circuit stuff to do. We got 2 screws coming up from the top onto a PCB of my design. That is going to house the very simple schematic and a bunch of these other parts. So don't need any of these washers. So far, I mean, so far so good. We're doing all right. Just don't unplug it. Yeah, there you go. Well, it might ship unplugged. I haven't decided yet. I guess I could ship plugged in. Why not chop the USB cable and solder it directly? Well, this thing is going to be underfoot, and as such, it is going to be under a lot of stressing. There's going to be a lot of weird stress on this thing, including, but not limited to, stomping and missing and hitting it back here. And if you hit it back there, while there is the cable, whatever it is, the strain relief on the cable, you could end up bending that enough that this thing could stop working under normal conditions. So I want the cable to be a separate piece. Plus, what if you want to plug it into USB-C? I happen to know one person that does. So if you want to change it over to a different USB plug, you can change it out. Yeah, this thing is robust enough. And apparently engineers hate that word, robust. But, because like, what does it mean? What is robust? Are you boob shaming me? What is this? What is this word? But anyway, this thing is like so super strong. The only weak link on it is the cable, which is fine. It's good to have it replaceable. That's exactly what Octojay just said. Yeah. I've had engineers like, well, that was actually a bad boss that I had a long time ago. It was a really bad boss, but not like bad like he was so cool. Bad like this guy is bad at managing people. I had a bad boss once give me a whole spiel on the word robust and how little he likes it. What does it mean in engineering? I use this screwdriver kit more. I mean, when you got a set of Weiras, you use the set of Weiras. Yeah, iFixit kit is really good though. All right, tapered ream, we're done with you for now. Octopedal cap, we'll have to find the big bolts for that guy soon. Screwdriver away, tweezers we're gonna need. All of this stuff is just like extra hardware now. And then these 2 screws are what's gonna hold it down. They're different lengths. Actually, they're different sizes. Hold on. I gotta find the right screws for this thing. Hold on. I got the wrong ones. Got 2 different screw sizes. I don't like how crooked it is, but I'm gonna make this thing work in spite of it and then figure out whether or not I want to correct that. I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, that is very crooked. It doesn't really affect anything though. The unit will still work exactly the same. That one feels like it's too long, but no, same screw, so we'll use 2 of those. Okay, so there's that drill bit. The temptation to fix my dumb drilling and put like screw slots on the thing. That's how you, by the way, that's how you get over this problem. This problem right here. If you want to, if you know somebody's going to be taking a fine-tooth comb to your electronics and you mess up one of the screw holes and it's crooked like this, your solution is to take those screw holes and just make them into troughs and then you're like, yeah, it's an adjustable thing. You just tighten it down, you know, where you need it. Can't believe how fucked up. All right, we're gonna stop concentrating on that. On to the next thing. So what I need to do, and I actually can get this out of here at some point, I need to make a circuit board that's just gonna span this area right here. So it's just gonna sit on these two standoffs, and it's going to hold the magnetometer sticking out this way, maybe. Maybe the magnetometer up on the edge. I don't know. We'll figure that out in a minute. But the Hall effect sensor needs to stick out in some way, shape, or form where it's slightly adjustable to these things. And then it needs to have the LED sort of central, right around where the power comes up. And then we need to have an attiny 85. Do I have pictures of the last one? No. I don't think so, unless I tweeted about it a million years ago. Let's start collecting parts, though. We need a piece of circuit board. This is going to rely on me drilling stuff again. And actually, funny thing is, I think I found one of the old circuit boards for this circuit. I mean, this would be probably doable. Keep in mind, this is all like off the cuff, chat. I didn't plan this out. I could have planned it out extensively. I could have had all of my component places ready to go and stuff like that. I had a lot of other homework to do, though. Can I copy yours? There was a circuit in here that had an attiny 85 attached to it that looked a lot like it was the prototype for this thing. I think I might have thrown it out because I didn't have any use for it. And then 2 days later, Octojay's like, "Can you build me another Octopedal?" Like, yeah. Here are the digisparks, by the way. This is the original. This is the OG. This is what this thing was made out of. It has a little 5-volt regulator on it, and yeah, it just runs off a USB. I mean, we're going to run off USB too, but we're not going to put a 5-volt regulator in there. We're going to trust that the USB coming in is 5 volts. Begs the question, should I be doing any conditioning on the USB power? Well, you got a 4.7 UF cap. That'd probably be good enough. Yeah, do I have anything? No, it doesn't look like I still have it. Would have been kind of useful. All right. How can we organize the circuit board so that it's proper? I have no idea, to be honest. Probably need a little bit of room to work. So I can probably cut off the manky section of this one, and then I'll have this giant square to work from. And if we offset it by a little bit, we'll have room to put the magnet over here. A reverse voltage diode, what, like a 1N4148? Because we already have Zeners on both of the USB lines. Not on VCC, though. VCC gets a 1.5K to R to pin 2, D minus. All right, so there's that. Are we using pin 1? We're not using pin 1, so we don't have to lock the microcontroller. So what we need to do, oh God, do I remember how to do any of this stuff? I don't know if I remember digispark. Let's see. I have set up my Arduino IDE. Well, actually, wait, before we even do that, let's gather a few more parts here. Before we do the programming, we'll jump into programming once I get the parts in front of me. So I need a couple 68 ohm resistors. 68 ohm. That should be easy enough. I know where all my stuff is. $68. There we go. So I'm gonna get a couple of these. What do I put them in? I put stuff in here previously, yeah. So that one's taken, although let's go on top of that. So 2 68 ohm resistors. Solid Electronics. Hey, thank you for subbing. What's going on with that? With a prime. Need that Fartbox point multiplier for 7 months. Hey, thank you so much, Solid Electronics. I appreciate that. Good on you. Good on you. All right, so those are the 2 68s. Now I'm probably watch me misplace them and have to get more. By the way, I'm going off of the digispark schematic with a couple things added. So 68 ohms, we got 2 of those. Let's see, 1.5K. That might have been the same bin. Nope. Wait. Were those 68 kilo ohms that I just got? I think I just grabbed 68 kilo ohms. Hold on. Yeah, those are kilo ohms. Goodbye, my friends. Just threw them at the garbage can. All right, 68 ohms. Where are they at? Oh, well, here's 1.5K. How many of those do I need? I need 1, 2. Why is pin 6 pulled up with a 1.5K? I'm just going to follow the schematic, I guess. Oh, it's pulled up for the signal line. I see now. So, yeah, 2 1.5Ks. 1, 2. I'm really going to have to pay attention to these when I pull them out of the pile, solder them in, make sure I get the right value. 2 1.5Ks, 10K. We need 1, right? Just 1? 1 10K. 1 10K. 1 10K. 10K. That's just for the Hall effect sensor so that it has a good signal reset. Got the 1.5, got the 10s. We need 6.8. And then that's it. Who drew this fucking schematic? It's so confusing. All right. Next bin. These are the ohms. There we go. 68. I need 2. This one goes up to 27. It doesn't go above. Damn it. Need another bin. $68 ohms. There we go. Got plenty of them. 2 of those. All right, those are the resistors. We got that, we got that. We need a Hall effect sensor, and we need capacitors. Oh, we also need an attiny 85. I'm not going to say sacrificial, because I don't think this is a sacrificial attiny 85. I think this is a legitimate one. I think we'll make it through in one, assuming my digispark environment is still thriving. So it's too bad I can't use any of the new colors of LEDs that I bought. I bought like ultraviolet and like some weird other stuff. What's up next? Depends on what I can find, I guess. If I can find 0.1 of caps, I need 1 of them. Those are mega ohms. So these bins are everybody asks about these bins when I pull them out. They're labeled when tie, and they basically come up on an Amazon search if you look up surface mount container, because these have little flip up lids and they're just little plastic containers that kind of snap to one another. They're pretty good. I appreciate them. They work pretty well. Thing is, I organized all my resistors and capacitors into them. That probably was a mistake, because they're not good. If you drop them, they'll all explode and all the parts go all over the place. And I think there's too many values in it. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't on this one. Maybe it's a secret hidden one. I also don't know what pins are connected to what. Look at that little shift over. We'll have to look at the software when we put it on there. All right. Other capacitors. 47 or 4.7 off electrolytic. That's going to be a can. We're going to make that one a can. So I've got a little kit. Got a kit for everything. Got a little kit of these little can capacitors. And 4.7 is right there. It's 50 volts. Nice little cappy thingy right there. Put that there. I got plenty of space for the circuit, you know. Aid tech boxes. Oh yeah, you can close the whole thing like a briefcase. That only leaves scanning. That only leaves the 3.6 volt Zener diodes, which I have, and they're in the little binder of Zener diodes. Let me grab that, get 2 more of them little bastards, and then we'll have all the components for a circuit sitting down here. Mice toilets, what are you talking about? What the fuck? What are you searching? Oh god, the labels on these are all over the place, so I don't know which is which. I could always use the diode tester on it, I guess. No, not really. Not if it's like 13 volts. So I don't think this one goes here. We need 3.6, so maybe 3v9 and 3v3. I remember we had to make a call between 3.9 volts and 3.3 volts because we don't have 3.6 in this kit. And it looks like I've used up a lot of both of them, but the 3.3 volt ones, there's missing a couple. So I guess that's probably where we should go. They're for the D- and D+ lines. I mean, the attiny 85 can take the extra voltage. We're just here to make sure that the USB spec isn't manhandled, you know? So let's take 2 3.9s and use those. These are glass body diodes. They're very old school looking. I actually have a setup for these on the breadboard stuff. There we go. Yeah, it's to protect just in case, you know, anything overvolts. You don't want to break your USB on the computer, and you don't want to break your USB on the attiny. The computer's a little bit more important, but this just keeps things under wraps. And there it is. There's everything, except for the Hall effect sensor. Let's get the Hall effect sensor, actually. Let's do that. So I happen to kind of know where they are. Kind of. Maybe I don't. I just need to go through some of the miscellaneous bins that I have. The ones that don't have, like, valued components on them. The ones that are all the miscellaneous stuff. Because I know they're part of... They're, like, on one of the flat bins. I've seen them before many times while rifling through. While rifling through my collection of electronics. Just make sure they're not in here. Nope. I don't know if they're labeled or not. That's the thing. I could put a micro switch on this to turn it on and off. No. Not necessary. I got all kinds of buttons too now. That SparkFun miscellaneous thing that I was sent by a viewer was a gold mine of miscellaneous weirdness. There's a lot of really cool weird stuff in there. What is this one? This one's like a MISC part of it. Man, I should have looked in here to see if I had that capacitor that we were looking for Julian's thing. There's a NeoPixel in there too. We'll desolder the NeoPixel from the board that we know, and we can transfer them over. So I'm looking through unlabeled bins. Yeah, none of these, none of these, none of these. There's a shot key. Okay, none of those. There's so many like little electronics components that I like I wanna mess with. I wanna see what they do in this shop. It's like, what can I do with this? There's even some analog audio stuff that I haven't really gotten to looking at. Ugh, how about here? Nope, 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 nope. Hall sensor, A3144, there we go. All right, so there's our Hall sensor. So now that's everything but the magnet. 58 ohm resistors are to signify the USB devices at the end of the chain. What are you talking about? We don't have anything like that here. Okay. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, bop, bop. All our parts. We need to get these onto a board. Moreover, I need to program this little guy right here. We need to get software on this thing before we solder it down. So let's grab our ATtiny85. Let me get some of my programming tools. I'm going to scooch all this stuff over to a safe spot without dumping it all over. It was touch and go there for a minute, but we made it. The logo is a mouse sitting over the container as if it's a toilet. Hold on. I'm loading it. Boy, oh boy, is that a slow PDF. Where's this coming from? DE. What the fuck? Well, that's a little flippant. The one with the one giant lid that opens over everything is absolutely the worst idea. That is the worst idea that I've ever seen. And these aren't quite the same. These aren't quite the same bins. These are a different company. Oh, they're apparently conductive. But like, yeah, maybe if you were in like a German style, like super clean environment where like people don't sneeze because it's like against their nationality. Yeah, maybe these would be great, but like I can see myself opening that big one and just being like, whoop, and then everything goes all over the place. It just whoosh, and everything just goes in the wrong spot. It looks like they have a broad amount of styles of these containers though. So you can work within that limit. But yeah, those are the like real industrial environment kind of ones. I bet these are not cheap. I bet these are not cheap. Damn, having a whole rolling cart of bins of components stored in those would be kind of crazy. Slogan known as mice toilet. All right, so we need to program these things, and for that, I need to get out the programmer, which I have in a bin. No, I don't. Where did the programmer go? What happened to what happened to the Brian Locke programmer? Okay. We are now searching for it. So where is the Brian Locke programmer of things? It's this whole environment that allows me to program a bunch of different stuff. I probably put it in a special place, and then I lost track of that special place. I mean, the programming cable for it is there. All right, where did it go? It would have been up here, but I didn't run into it when I was cleaning out stuff. Would have been up here. Where else would it have gone to? I would have put it in, like, you know, the bin, but it's not in the bin. So did it end up over here on this bench behind stuff? I don't see it. The only other thing that I could think of is that it like fell off the desk and went in a weird spot. This is gonna be the big hang up of the stream, right? That I just can't find my programmer. Things I've done worse. I've done worse. Let's see here. I can dig it out. There's the ultrasonic levitation project. Nope. All right. I think I started looking for it when I was cleaning up, and then I got distracted. So now I actually need it, and I don't know where it is. What would I have done with the super fancy programming board? Would it be in this drawer? Is this your card? No, it's not there. What about the drawer with all the other stuff in it? Looking, searching, digging to the bottom of the drawer. Yeah, don't see it. Don't see it. All right, so let's think about this. Where else would this thing have gone? Common places. Yeah, so I'm going to put this in this special spot so I remember. And then you don't. One spot is there. That's where I would have put it. There's a lot of miscellaneous stuff over there. I don't see one of the big programming headers over there. Behind it. Nothing behind it. If it fell, it would go in between desks over here. Give that a quick search. I don't initially see it. We can come back to that if I need to. I can look along the floor in that area because there's a bunch of gratings that are in the way there. On top of there, over there, this sort of general area, I don't see. So if it did fall and it got under stuff, I'm gonna have to really crawl around over there and see. The other spots would be somewhere over here, behind and around this bin. And we did clean all this stuff up when we had the threat of Julian coming, so I would have been able to see it somewhere around there. Another spot is here with all the plastic that the Norn created. I don't think it is, though. Not on this. That would be where there's other programmable stuff. Not on this pile. Pile of plastic that I'm moving. Sorry, that was I'm looking like right there where there was a big pile of plastic stuff from DigiKey. Nothing useful, just stuff. How about this random bin? Oh, this would have been a good place to look for miscellaneous electronics, huh? These are like CPAP parts. Yeah, I bet we could have found that capacitor on this. There's some giant ferrite beads on this board, too. No programmer, though. Oh, boy. This isn't good. I don't know where I put this fucking thing. If you were, like, an expertly created programmer that had a bunch of, like, custom stuff on it, where would you be in my office? Let's think about this. What else could I have done with it? I mean, there's only a couple places that I put stuff like this. This is why I'm so taken aback when I can't find something. That would be another spot, like somewhere back there, but I don't see anybody in there. Did I put it in this thinking I was smart? Nope. Nope, never think you're smarter than yourself. Negative. Huh. When was the last time we did something with attiny 85s? Where could I put something in that time? Where would I have put it? Oh, man. All right. Yeah, this is serious. That was like a cornerstone of my operation here. I mean, that would also be with the 12-volt board, and the 12-volt board isn't here. Oh, I know. It's with the RC car stuff. I know now. I remember. It's with the RC car stuff. Yep, there it is. Memory. Got that steel trap of a mind. Because I meant to reprogram the RC car because I forgot to initialize one of the timers. Ta-da! Got him. Got him! Alright, so I have sort of a full 360-degree programming solution here for both just regular attiny 85 development as well as digispark. See, the thing about digispark is that it does have to have that pin 1 programmed. We need to lock pin 1, and then we need to put the digispark core onto this device. Once we do that, the digispark core will only be programmable through this connection here. This connection here goes through all the diodes and stuff of the digispark and allows us to load up the attiny 85 with code. That will turn it into a USB accessory. This board is dusty. I should keep it in here. Then, if we screw up, we can reset the 12-volt. We can use 12 volts in order to reset the pin 1, the reset pin, that will then allow it to program. See, when you program these things, you reset them, and when these microcontrollers reset, the very first thing they do is check to see whether or not any external programming wants to go onto the chip itself. So what you need to do, if you have a limited number of pins What the manufacturers decided to do is that the all go-ahead signal to allow things to be programmed, well, how do I put it? In order to reset the device, you need to have a pin that's designated as a reset, right? You reset the device. When it cycles, it comes back and it goes, hey, you got any code for me? And then it continues on. But if you don't have that reset pin, you can't have a device that immediately resets and then loads code into it. You don't have a reset pin. So what they've done is they've made that reset pin a 12-volt compatible pin so that when it gets 12 volts, it knows that it's going to be going through a reset cycle. So that's why we need a programmer that is capable of killing your normal 5-volt microcontroller. Anyway, on to this one. So first things first, plug this guy in, and then we get our attiny 85. We position pin 1 properly. This one's looking a little grody, actually. There's some schmutz on it. Let me get one that's not grody. If I'm giving this to somebody else, I'm gonna want it to be a slightly better one. You know, it's like you don't want to just give him the next one on the pile. I also don't want to give him a fucked attiny. Let's leave that bin alone. That would be the most economical thing I could do, is test to see which one of these are just simply rescuable with 12 volts, but yeah, well, the last time I used digispark was a while ago. When the Tiny 87, where'd the 85 bin go? What did I do with it? Hold on, I just got to sort through these. So what you guys are missing out on, what I'm not showing you, because there's a box that has an address label on it right next door. What I'm not showing you is that I just have an open drawer with a shit ton of these little kits just rattling around inside of it. There's really nothing special about looking into that drawer. I would show it to you if I could, but again, there's a box with an address label, and I just want to keep moving on this project. So I'm just looking through these bins and pulling them up into sight here so that you guys can see what I'm looking at. I'm looking for the one that has the little label on it that says attiny 85s. It's the Tiny 87 one again. Ah! Come on, man. Keep getting the same... Okay, there's a stack of bins that I'm not getting to here. Hold on. It's gonna be like an incredible crash noise, and then the stream will turn off. It'll be like a meteor struck. And hold music. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's not the right one. Where did it go? Hold on. Having trouble here. There. No, it's not the forbidden drawer. You know, I give you guys all pass and all season access to my shop, and I say, you do whatever you want. Just like, don't look in that drawer. You guys won't let me live it down. It's one drawer. It's just one drawer in this entire shop. You guys can't look in. Twitch can't handle anything like that, apparently. All right, so I'm gonna put this one. This one's a little grody. Let's find a nice newer one. Nice new looking one that doesn't have coffee on it. That one has coffee on it. I think they all do at this point. Hold on. I bought new ones. But I put them in the same drawer. I think some of these are just stuck together. Well, I'll just clean them off then. Yeah, I'll just use that one then. All right. Thank who for what? Adam who? All right, so pin 1's the upper left-hand corner. So put this in like this. Here, let's get a little closer. So yeah, this is a ZIF socket, which means zero insertion force. There's a strangely stamped piece of copper in there that has basically an internal spring structure. And so there's a pad and then a little arm, and those hug your pins and make sure that you get electrical contact without putting much force on them. The insertion force is 0, meaning I can plop this guy down, and then I can press on this thing, and that'll hug the pins. Bam, there we go, see? So there's a ZIF socket. Now this one's a little bit more special, and it used to be much harder to find. This is an SOP20, which means it's wider, because the attiny 85 is a little bit of a chunky boy. All right, let's put software into this thing. How do I do that again? All right. So Arduino, I don't think I need to start up like a digispark specific Arduino. What we did here is we found a publicly available MIT core for digispark. Now this gets a little bit more advanced because digispark, you should know digispark's a bootloader, right? Digispark is a bootloader, and a bootloader exists on an Arduino so that you can have a transmit and receive instead of the system that we were talking about before. It works much in the same way, but instead of using like 4 or 5 pins, it uses 2. And the attiny 85 only has 6 pins. It doesn't matter if you're using 4 or 5. You got to flip it over to programming mode and then program it in the spot, on the spot. Blah, blah, blah. But DigiKey, the geniuses over at DigiKey, actually figured out how to make the attiny 85 program over USB. They were able to just barely get it up to the speeds of USB so that you could plug it in, the computer can recognize it as a digispark, and then it can load software into it. And that has the advantage of all of the USB communication protocol stuff is already in there, right? Or to a degree. And so what we can do is we can very easily and very lightly, because there's not a ton of space on an attiny 85, we very lightly load software that will allow the attiny 85 to speak as if it is a full USB peripheral, because it is. And it can do a bunch of different stuff. So if you need one button to do something on USB, attiny 85 is pretty good. In addition to that, we found a library what allowed us to use the NeoPixel, the 1-pin digital LED. It's RGB, you could have a chain of them. We were able to find something that very lightly implemented that. And so we are able to then have an RGB LED, a Hall effect sensor, and USB communications all on one 8-pin chip. It's pretty slick setup. I like it. The only thing is, in order to implement that and put that onto our own circuit board, instead of a board that I bought from DigiKey or from a knockoff product. By the way, the knockoff products needed us to do special stuff to it too to get them working anyway. So it's like, what's the point? But anyway, the if I were to get them from DigiKey or from a knockoff product, they would have the core already loaded into it, and DigiKey was not giving people the core. So I think there's like an MIT core that's pretty much the same thing. It's probably what all the knockoff products use. That is what we're going to load onto this. So we had to go into the configuration files for my IDE, and we had to change some of the parameters. Now, all that stuff is known and documented. You can find it online. It's not easy, but it's like the last step in a project like this. It's like, I want to put this on my own board. What should I do? Now, in the case of designs that I've done that aren't USB communication and don't need all that, I have used the MIT attiny 85 Arduino core. So the core is Arduino, we can program it, but when we upload it, we need to use this stuff to upload it. And you can put the 6-pin header on your project and have that upload stuff to it. There's a couple considerations about like what your device is doing with those pins versus what the programmer is going to do to those pins in order to isolate it out and keep it from influencing stuff badly. But aside from that, you know, like if you need a chip that's going to manage a bunch of digital peripherals, the attiny 85 is a pretty good chip for that. And you know, you don't have a lot of space. Using more pins is always easier, to be honest. But okay, so yeah, we need to actually open up the Octopedal files. So desktop, stream shortcut. Where's stream shortcut? There it is. I had to clean up all the files on this computer. Jesus Christ. Now, we should technically already have the IDE configured. I would like to check that over, but it's kind of daunting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Oh, one thing that I would like to do is build a Neural Johnson for this channel. I'll get to that at some point, but I got all the code right there. The neural network bot that takes chat messages and kind of scrambles them around to make unique stuff. I think we need more chatters for that, though. No, the Octopedal files. The pedal files for Octojay's project. There's a lot of them. All right. I wonder, did I ever take... I guess I didn't take a... I didn't write down like the process here, huh? Fast LED digispark 927 versus 827. So this would be the latest. Let's see what we got. Fast LED digis joystick. LED pin is 0, magnet, number of pixels is 1, fade time, blah, 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 blah. Globals, flux, blah, 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 CRGB, number of pixels. Okay, so our board. Digistump AVR. Pro, we're using 5 volts, so we can use 16 megahertz on this thing. No USB. I think Digispark Pro default 16 megahertz, right? Or is it regular Digispark? What's the difference between the Pro and the regular? Not projects, come on. Digispark Pro. Oh, we're definitely not Pro. We're not Pro. What chip is that? It looks like a nice little chip. Nice little chip that I couldn't put in a breadboard. Although the whole microcontroller I could. Okay, so we're not Pro. We're definitely not Pro. We're not professionals here. So Digistump. Digispark default 16.5, right? So let's look at these files, huh? This is where things are going to get kind of crazy. And I believe we start with app data. I think. Yeah, we're not pros here. We're not pros. I might need to just look up where the files are. Hold on. App data local. I don't think Digistump is part of this. I think it's Arduino. Arduino 15. Packages. Digistump. Hardware. AVR. No, I don't think this is it. Cores? Nah. Maybe. I don't know. Well, the instructions are with the cores. If you look up a Digistump or a Digispark, the publicly available core, I think they have instructions on what to do. I just wanted to look at the specific stuff that we actually altered. I think maybe app data. I don't think it's in roaming. No, that would be maybe my documents. Hold on, let me look. Documents, Arduino. No, those are, well, libraries. Was it the root directory? Maybe it's the root directory. Hold on. The Arduino directory on this computer. I don't think where does it store? So C program files, Arduino. Okay, so libraries, references, tools, hardware examples. Hardware. Nah. Teensy cores. Nope. Those are the MIT cores. It's not in the libraries. It's it's somewhere. It's somewhere deep in these files. I mean, you can just see how many things there are. And I think I wrote it down somewhere. I just don't know where. I remember making a file that described all this because there was a lot of stuff that we did in order to make this work. But for some reason, they're not in my my project folder, which would be the great place for me to put them. Oh, maybe they're in... Oh, you know what? You know what? I think I know. I didn't put them in here, did I? I might have put them in the Git page for this. Are any of these schematic, cap, drawing, Octopedal, light stomp, neopixel, sketch? One of these might actually be the how-to. Let me just open this up real quick. Not a how-to. It could be in its own directory. No. All right, I don't know what happened to the data. Let me just check my Git page real quick. See if I actually noted down any of this process. And I'll have to check around and see if I can find anything. Light stomp. Digispark joystick is in here, but there's nothing about new file, development documentation. Yeah, go back here. Light stomp. We use Digispark core for digijoystick to make our single button device. To change the USB ID, you have to go into the files a bit, but they're in the digijoystick configuration files. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So the digijoystick configuration files are what we went into. So I want to check to see if those are still configured properly. And I didn't give a location for those, but I have a feeling that we're going back to app data. We're looking for digijoystick. So we're going to app data, local, Arduino 15, packages, digistump, hardware, AVR. This is the wrong one. Libraries. There we go. So it's simple. All you need to go do is go to your app data, go back one, and then forward to roaming. No, to local, then go to Arduino 15, packages, digistump, hardware, AVR 1.67 libraries, and then go to digijoystick. Super easy to reconfigure. Digijoystick.h. Scroll down. I don't think I've had no reason to change this, so it's probably exactly the same. But somewhere around here, we called this thing Octopedal 2000, and I just want to make sure that it's still in here. Well, there's also just taking good notes. That's really the solution here. Where is the configuration? It's like this big confusing like thing of I think that it's not the .h. Joystick readme, keywords, licensing, OSCAL, USB configuration, maybe. Port name B, AVR, attiny, IO port name, clock rate. Yeah, the thing is, it's like, yeah, here we go. So this is where I did it. So vendor name, you have to put each individual character into a quote in order to get it in here. So search wouldn't have helped us. Each individual character has to go in a quote. So I made it Twitch TV blah 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 oh bother vendor name length 19, and then the configuration of the device name Octopedal 2000 length 14. And then the serial number is 8 is equal to D. It's an equation. It's an equation that you can work out on your own that will give you the actual specific serial number of the device. So it's kind of complicated. It's multivariable. Yeah, 8 and then 3 equals and then D. Okay. So we're still configured. Everything in here is still configured for USB joystick to show up properly. That's good. We got that going. Notepad update. No. Okay. So fast LED digispark. What's the one that went up in the GitHub? Light stomp. Well, this one still has all the stuff in it, and this one has a later save date, right? No, this one is just for fluxes, previous flux, fade. Okay, this is just the testing program. Yeah, this is not the one we want. We want light stomp. 820. Oh, 2020. I missed the year. I missed the year. We all missed the year. 2020 to 2021 was like 5 minutes. All right. Digit joystick, 2812, all that stuff. We got the pins and stuff. I've got an inverter if I need it. I can't really reprogram that without desoldering the chip. So I guess I got to get that right the first time, huh? Are we going to want it inverted or not? I'm going to leave it alone. No, we're about to program it. We had to go to the very easy to find folder, which is app data, local, Arduino 15, packages, Digistump, hardware, AVR, 1.67 libraries, Digispark joystick, and then go into usbconfig.h and go all the way down until we've got the vendor ID and the device ID down here. So vendor name, device name, and then serial number. Those are the three things that we changed. So if I make another joystick, I'll have to change these. But yeah, anyway. I'm gonna note down that location. There. Files altered permanently. I'll just do this. All right. So yeah, this is what we're going to do. And give it the beans. Now, I already have all the programming for this thing. What are you ball busting? What? I don't know. Try and make a suggestion. See if I get pissed off or not. I don't think you've been around for a programming stream. How to override a define in an Arduino library header. What? Can't really get to that? There might be a specific reason why we didn't do this. So I could have taken these lines and overrid them in this program instead of going directly to the files. What the hell is this? Oh no, let's get rid of that. That was what we did last time. The last time we did Arduino stuff. So I could have gone to override USB configure vendor name, USB configure device name, and USB configure serial number. I could just put that into my code as define blah blah blah. But I'd need to say define what is it? USB config, and then put that in there. Well, we have a chance to test this. Of course, I'm gonna have to. I have a bunch of other stuff to figure out first. Let's program this and let's circle back on this, because if I can do that, then that's much more powerful and better for me to share on GitHub. So, but yeah, that's probably a better way to do it. But let me first just get my program in here and see that everything works, because I haven't been back to this program in a little while. So, presumably I haven't updated anything Arduino wise, so we should be able to take this and then program it all appropriately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off plugging this thing into USB somehow. I'm going to get cable out from over here. Yeah, that way I don't have to say, hey, go off and alter your files elsewhere. Well, but the thing is that configuration is going to change depending on how you install how you install your specific digistump thing, but all right, plug that in. Okay, we're ready to go on that. I should probably check to see if that's locked or not, but let's what we're going to do is, now that we've got the digispark default 16.5 megahertz selected, I've already gone into the files and had to alter a bunch of stuff. Now, if you are going to work with digispark, which I don't know if I'd suggest, I don't think I would suggest working with digispark, but it's USB native, so I guess if you have to, there are open source cores that give you a tutorial on how to install the stuff, I think. Because we had to do a lot of file spelunking in order to get stuff configured properly, so that digispark would be able to burn its own bootloader onto the chip. But now that we've selected the board, we can simply go to burn bootloader, right? Well, we do have to select the COM port. So COM 5, because 4 and 3. I need to unassign 3 and 4, but I think there might be some peripheral stuff that actually uses them. But anyway, bort loader, right? Burn bootloader. Burning bootloader to IO board. Do we get blinky lights? Not yet. Oh, hey, what's up, FK Productions? How you doing? Sorry, I almost missed your message. We were talking programming stuff. I don't think anything's happening here. Hello? COM 5? Board the bort border. Yeah. Okay. Hello? This may take a minute. Yeah, it seems to be taking a minute. And I'm getting that impression. I'm getting the distinct feeling that this is going to take a minute. All right, I'm going to interrupt it. I don't remember how to do digisparks, so we'll have to figure this out together. Together, we can figure this out. All right, we're back to the heartbeat. But it's not responding. If I unplug this, will COM 5 go away? It should. Oh, okay. So it's not COM 5. It's COM 3. I don't know how to shut down COM 3. You just start the... Just get out of here. Let's get out of here. Scarper. Okay. Arduino again. I haven't done this for a little while, so I'm still a little rusty on how to get all this stuff together. Yeah, device manager. Well, I mean, with Arduino, you just plug it in and unplug it, and it tells you where it's plugged in, right? Port COM 5 and COM 4 are already in my computer, so if I plug this thing in and we get a COM 3, we'll know what's up. All right, that stuff is plugged in. Port COM 3. So we're actually COM 3. That was a sick, cruel prank that this thing played on me. Yeah, and then I read somewhere, somebody was saying that, like, those 2 COM ports that are always active in the computer are actually not necessary, and you could go in and, like, disable them, so that if you have a USB to COM device plugged in, only the one thing shows up, and it won't be as confusing. But with Arduino, I just do the whole observe the ports, then plug it in, then observe the ports again. So COM 3, now we can bort loader. It's going to burn the bootloader. Yeah, Windows serial ports are... I mean, I've learned to use them, so I kind of like them. It's like Fusion 360. I know FK Productions uses Rhino. I use Fusion 360, even though Fusion 360 every year is like, by the way, we took away one of your freedoms. And you're like, cool, thanks. Thanks, guys. I really like not being able to do anything in my CAD software. But anyway, yeah, I like my... Because I learned, I mean, fuck, I think FK Productions was in the same class where I learned AutoCAD a million years ago. But I'm used to AutoCAD, so. Windows IRC clients back in the day would start printing everything somebody typed. Really? If your nickname was LPT1, that's awesome. Oh, that's cool. All right, so we've got our software. Sorry, we don't have our software on there. We have our bootloader on there. We have our bootloader on the thing. Here's the thing about Digispark. Digispark uses pin 1 of the Arduino. Even though we're not using pin 1, Digispark locks you out of using pin 1. So I think, I'm not too sure about this, I'm more used to using the attiny, the MIT core. We're using the Digispark core, we're using the Digispark core, which utilizes USB. I think pin 1 is necessary for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock pin 1. And for that, I had to build my own little circuit board that uses 12 volts and puts a couple like special keys into there in order to undo it, like special programming flags. I don't know if I have that software on GitHub. I'm gonna open up my GitHub again. If I don't, I'll upload it right now. I'm gonna do it right fucking now, so that you guys have access to that specific project, because it is a very, very nice resource to have. Let's check. Let's get out of the Octopedal files for now. Chat delete project El Toro, burn the subs. Nah, we're gonna start a new one then. How do I use GitHub? I fucking hate this website. Hold on, let's check. Rack fans, tank box, admin, project Hornet, chat's the leaky. Yeah, let's do IRC days. Yeah, who is this guy? I should follow him. Let's see. Oh, I'm not logged in. Yeah, I'll not be using that term to sign in. I have to do two-factor authentication. That's why I moved it off. Oh, really? Use this one. Shit. All right, I don't remember my credentials. If somebody on Discord wants to rmind me to upload the attiny85 BitLocker, please do, so that I can, because I need to go through the whole rigmarole of logging in. By the way, this is twiztedsizter's version of the pedal, of the Octopedal. What he did is he used a Pro Micro, which is a little bit more expensive. It's totally fine though. And then, sorry, Pico? Yeah, I think it's an Arduino Pico because it's got the USB socket on it. And then he had the USB socket, the USB wire go through the original stuff. He didn't have to use the milling machine like we did. And then he used the original giant, the macro switch, the giant clicky switch on the thing, just to set one pin. He just set it input pull up, and then looks, you know, input pull up and ground. And then all you have to do is push the pedal, and then it sets off whatever digital, whatever joystick thing you got. And you can smash the crap out of this thing and it'll be fine. Our Octopedal is a little bit weirdly designed, which is fine. Totally fine. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, let's go back to, well, we don't need the software yet. We're about to load that up. we don't get royalties on it. It's MIT license. Pro Micro, okay. Hey, I remember the days of AOL Instant Messenger when I hex edited the Macintosh program so that I could have my own custom colors for chat messages. You could just hex edit different colors in there. They just didn't invent a menu for you to select it. So yeah, we're moving our attiny85 over to this high voltage flasher. This thing doesn't need software. It's all the bit and stuff. All the bit stuff is loaded up into it already. So we can check to see how the bit's set, and we can see that it's set so that pin 1 is not in the 12 volt only reset configuration. I can pop that, and now it resets that bit specifically. This looks for that bit and then flips it. It's you got to know what you're doing to use it, but it's a good tool. Chat clans, yeah. All kinds of weird shit, right? All right, so now I can move this thing over to the bespoke. Actually, these are both, they get the same pins, but whatever. I can move it over to here, and now this is a Digispark device. I do not remember how to program Digispark devices. Do we need a separate program to do that? Let's do a PC health check. I'm so glad that none of my computers conform with Windows 11 stuff. Oh, God. Anyway, what do we got going on here? How do we program the digispark things? I think what we do is we upload and then it tells us to plug the device in. And when we do, it's going to show up with USB drivers. Oh, what's your experience with it on the laptop? I've heard people like they're not too salty about it, but there's still like some stuff that doesn't function on it or something. A lot of my friends are like, Linux is looking pretty good these days. And I'm like, I can't do CAD on Linux. I don't have a program that works on Linux. Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck TPM is. Trusted Platform Module 2? What is the purpose of that? Yeah, it is very Windows 8, Windows ME, like I heard Linux. Yeah, I said the word, they all come out of the woodwork. Still a bit buggy. It can assist crypto and BitLocker. How long is that going to last? Because if you've got like a universal hardware standard, it becomes the attack vector for everybody. I run Linux on Raspberry Pis, right? I love so my computer. Some of my friends, present company notwithstanding, none of you guys are my friends. I fucking hate you people. But no, like some of my friends have now just started looking into Linux and have been talking down to me about their knowledge of Linux, and it's been driving me fucking nuts. I'll say one bad thing about it and they'll jump down my throat like they're smarter than me, like I've never heard of Linux before. Like I never in my life, like the most pretentious fucking thing. Send them my, I know, like, look man, they said some stuff about the people in Discord and I was like, what are you fucking talking about? All right, anyway, let's see if we can get software up on this thing, right? So I'm gonna hit upload and all hell's gonna break loose and my stream's gonna stop and then I'm gonna have to put out a literal fire in my shop. Well, something's happening, and I hope it's the right thing, because the video is getting a little laggy. You just have to say I've been using Linux for years. Yeah, it's true. Plug in the device now. We only have so much time. Let's go, chat. Plug in the device. Chat, plug it in. Chat, what are you doing? Chat, plug in the device. We don't have time, chat. USB device not recognized. Damn it, this is this problem again. Why does that happen? I'm going to unplug and plug back. It could be a USB socket thing. Setting up device. Micronucleus is done. Ooh, I just had a little pop-up that said we're setting up Octopedal 2000. So if I go to USB, this is one of my favorite menus to go to. Let me tell you something about this menu right here. Set up USB game controllers. It's something that a lot of like gamers don't do, especially when they're futzing around with hardware like this. Set up USB game controllers is one of my favorite dialogues to go to because it means the device you built, you're now in testing phase. So if I set up USB game controllers, I've got a couple things going on here. One of them is DigiKey. I wish I could we didn't get this to recognize properly, which is unfortunate. We should look for whatever that is. That's probably some other USB ID. Because I thought we got this one to recognize as Octopedal 3000. But anyway, let's look at the properties of this thing. So now I got all our parameters here. What we don't have is anything connected to the appropriate pin of the thing in order to give us our positive signal on literally just button 1. Just button 1 is what we're using. So that's where we're going to check our actual controller status. Let me unplug and plug back in the micronucleus device, and we can see whether or not, you know, everything's functioning properly. If, by the way, if I knew that I'd have to build 3 of these things, I would have definitely set up a test bed where I would be able to program the device, plop it in, and push the button, and everything comes on properly. I can't do that right now. We have to build the hardware in order to do that, because this is a custom device. Custom little punch box. There, now I can actually say hi to Flatulent Gonad. Groovy used Thurston Waffles emote, and I was like, what? I accidentally called him gonad. So it's still digikey. Let's see if we could change that. So we had it open in Notepad++. We have all our parameters here. Now, obviously, we could try to change these things. We could change these things later on, right? We'll try to use the in-program things. But like the serial number should be that. Let's look it up. Let's look up the device in Device Mangler because we can figure out what's still called digikey. So, oh, what the hell is this thing? This one is a game device, right? Game controller. Imaging. HID. Oh, there's so many things. What the fuck is VM multimedia? You know, that's probably the Stream Deck. Sports mouse? Oh my god. Touchscreen, pen. Why are you not in here? It's somewhere else. Display. I'm gonna go by connection. So it's probably behind. It's behind like 7 firewalls. Audio. Blah 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 blah. Device factory. What the fuck? Oh man, this is harder to find than I thought. Yeah, it is still connected. Devices by type. I mean, it should be in the either HID or there's a specific controllers one that I might have just scrolled over and not seen it. It's not software devices, right? Not storage controllers. USB. Ugh, those are the hubs and stuff. And my webcams, the 10,000 webcams that we use here. Not an imaging device. There's all my webcams. It's gonna be one of these, isn't it? What are we looking at? What's our serial number? Oh, dear God. Status? Nope. Yeah, why isn't it there? Well, okay, we could do unplug it and go. Doesn't appear to have changed. Plug it back in. It changes IDs twice when you plug it in because it does the programming thing first. So, touchscreen? Where the fuck do I have a touchscreen? Yeah, I think I have that program. Okay, I had that program. Why are you suggesting Linux tools for me? Like, that's what the fuck? Why? What's that gonna do? Oh, let's stop everything. All right, I'm gonna throw the stream on the floor. Fucking happy birthday to the ground, and then just fucking like let's install Linux on something, and then I can see what USB devices I have available. God, come on. My COM ports aren't even showing up. All right. I mean, it'll show up in USB game devices. See, it's still there. We just don't know what's going on with it. And I think maybe it didn't take on the IDs that we wanted it to. HID is class 3. CDC is class 2. What the hell's that? An ACM. It should be HID class, so it should be showing up in 3. Scripter length. And it shouldn't be showing up as digikey, which is... That's what I'm wondering, because none of this stuff is configured with digikey. So, I don't know, maybe I should flash it again and see what happens? Because nothing in here says digikey. No, it's not a dead attiny. Oh, okay. So the other one that because I saw something that show up in the corner that said Octopedal 2000, you know, plugged in. Yeah, but this is calling it the old name. That may be what's going on. That may be what's going on. Like if I move this to the other computer, I'll probably get Octopedal 2000. Then I can't show you guys that happening unless I flip over to Game PC and I actually plug in my Ethernet cable. What time is it? Jesus Christ. We're going to be working on this on Friday. Hold on, let me plug this into the other computer and verify that it comes up as the right thing. Doing the same exact stuff that I did here. Because yeah, I think Octojay has it right. I think it shows up as the right thing. It's just a dick. Let me plug it in over here. You guys are not allowed to see my desk right now because it's a fucking trash heap. So, set up USB game devices. Oh no, configure USB space game. There you go. Set up USB game controllers. Octopedal 2000. All right, it shows up as the right thing over here. Okay, cool. So yeah, we've got it all configured and everything. I'm gonna grab my cable, bring it back over here. Yeah, that's what it is. So Windows either saw like the HID device ID or the serial number or something like that, and it just used an old configuration that was in this computer already. This is legacy driver bullshit, where if I gave it a like unique serial number or something, it would actually come up properly. But yeah, so we've programmed it properly. This will show up as Octopedal 2000 with all the other parameters in there. Maybe it's a device version or the device ID of the version or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, Windows thinks it's helping but isn't. All right. So what do we got now? We have a USB socket installed. We have an attiny85 that now has the appropriate software on it. We have a little tiny piece of perforated prototyping board, what does not have mounting holes in it yet. We have all of our parts sitting over here, ready to go. So what's left to do is to actually build the circuit board. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rage quit. I'm gonna rage quit without the rage. No rage, but I'm gonna rage quit. I don't know what that means. Which means, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. If you just go into, you literally just said you don't know what that means, and then you said which means. Oh, also I wanna make note. Take that, and then let's go into this software, and I'll just make a note. Do that, define, and then it would be USB config, like that, and then define that, and this should not be individual marks for each line. I guess Arduino thinks it's helping, and it does that. That's gonna mess everything up, isn't it? Oh my God, what do you... Okay, you know what? You know what, comments, you little piece of crap? Let me just take them and put them in, like, directly like this. I only use double slash... yeah, I mean, I don't know. It should be a beginning and an end, whatever. You don't think that's necessary? I think it's necessary, unless it finds USB CFG vendor name. Because, like, what you were talking about specifically stated that. Oh, that was just your notation. I'm remembering now. Hold on. Change digispark, digispank. Change USB config name. Oh no, USB CFG. Okay, USB. Hold on. Delete CFG underscore vendor name. There aren't any great matches. USB keyboard, hardware config. These are all the GitHub files I'm getting now. It does seem, I mean, you should be able to change it that way, right? The defines don't care about namespaces. So you don't need this. Undefined before redefining? Is anybody familiar with this brand of C++, as we call it around here? I just want to make notes about this because I'm not going to play with it now. I mean, I guess we probably have time to play with it now. It's just, I don't know if that USB legacy shit, you know, where it like renames it for you. It's like, I'm helping. I don't know if that's going to come into play. Undefined? Really? Okay. It was part of the things that didn't work. Okay. Because, yeah, the way to test this is to redefine it as something new. I'll put undefined. We're sure about undefines. I'm not sure about undefines. What's the Stack Exchange thing that you're referencing? Also, hi, Mr. Anderson. Good to see you. Mr. Anderson. Oh, you did post the link. Okay, so I'm not going crazy. Look, man, my memory's getting all weird. I had a weird morning. I fell back asleep, but it was that kind of sleep where you think you're awake and you see stuff like in front of you, right? Like I was on my side sleeping, looking at the like bedside, and I was seeing stuff, but things were a little out of place. Like there was something like fundamentally wrong with what I was looking at. And so I rolled over onto my back and I slept again the same way. It was like a deep sleep where I thought I was awake. And so I thought I was looking up at the corner of the ceiling, and then my eye filled with water. And there was like a weird like underwater view of it because I had one eye open, and I was like, what the fuck? And so I rolled back onto my side a little bit where I could see the door a little bit. And I fell back into that fundamentally super deep sleep, and I saw somebody opening the door and putting their hand along the wall and poking their face through. And I tried to say no, and it came out like, because I couldn't like talk because I was asleep and none of the connections are there. It was a weird fucking morning. So my brain is a little scrambled after processing whatever the fuck my brain was doing at the time, doing like a deep level defrag, and everything's just fluttering around in the weird fluid. It was not Mark Zuckerberg. Actually, if I remember correctly, it looked kind of like Mr. Bean. Looked kind of like Mr. Bean. That was a little weird. And so when I woke up, everything was in the right place, right? Because like weird stuff it was probably like partially lucid dreaming. But like things were a little bit out of place for like what I remember there being in the room. And when I woke up, everything was in the right place. And I'm like, oh God, that was a dream. What the fuck? I thought I had to close the door. Like, all I remember about C++ is going to let you do whatever you want. It won't let you know it's wrong. Yeah. Not sure it'll even work. Redefining things will only work for the header-only libraries. The header has, I believe, digijoystick included in it. So after that, I would have to do a block of the defines. And undefines? Where's that link? GitHub. You have that link again, Cannibal? I'd like to see that. I'm scrolling up very quickly, but I'm not seeing it because it was a million years ago. Oh, I found it. Never mind. I got it. How do I override the define audio and the define in Arduino library header? I'm using running media in our Alberta project to deliver some master sizes. Blah, 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 blah. you can undef. Aha. So we do if def, undef, def. Why don't they call it def? Why do we do... Programmers! Ah! So yeah, we do have to undef. If the macro size is defined. Yeah, because when we call the library, it'll define everything. But it'll have pulled it all in there. Read the single comment. Doesn't matter if you redefine the macro. Be safe. If you need to ensure the macro gets defined back to its previous definition, you can use the push macro pop pragmas. Which single com imfdef undef may not work as it's first defined first in the library via header. I thought that undef was there to undo the def from the library, because if the library is pulling it through, because when we pull in the library, that's when it's going to get to those files and define them, right? Oh, the comment in question. Oh, they tried that and it didn't work or something? Active max 30. Library code will not create a buffer greater than medium max size. Well, they're trying to change buffers. I don't know. It seems like you could fuck shit up with this. 30 without changing running median. Change median max size. I will have to get into this someday if I do the USB joystick project that I want to do for Star Citizen, if I'm really going to take on lawmen. Karak to Karak. Karak? Nor? If running median cap is separately compiled into an object, won't see your blah, 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 blah. I don't know if we'll run into that because we're trying to change the name of a device. I don't know what any of that means. I don't know what that means. I mean, the .h file is what we were messing with. It's not, I don't think it's compiled separately. We're running into where I'm, this is USB config.h, so. Side panel for farming simulator. That you can buy like those industrial, like farm tractor simulator setups. I think they're pretty expensive, but they're freaking hilarious. It's like a full farm thing. So yeah, I don't know if we need to undef it. It seems like we might. Because if it's loaded from when you first call, like I guess we're telling the compiler that in spite of the fact that we've loaded digijoystick.h, we want to undefine those variables and redefine them as something else. If the library has its own CPP files, then you need, with pedal files, then you need to change the library header. If it doesn't, you can redefine it in your own code. Back to this folder. It does not. It does not. So we don't need the USB ID fact. USB is more than a low-level protocol. In the beginning of time, mankind invented the computer. Since then, USB peripherals have been the powering forward the world of tomorrow. Data structures, blah, 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 blah. How does USB standard? What is this? Why is this text file in here? Can I use USB IDs from objective development with other hardwares? Short answer is yes. The long answer is yes. What about shared? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Who's liable? The president. All right. There's probably a lot of good info in there, but I don't care. USB IDs for free. They got all these resources so that you can use your own USB ID. Read me. Firmware only, AVR control. It's all AVR based. Every USB device needs a vendor. Driver's been developed. See, I would go through this if I were actually making it into like a project kit, so that I'd have all the proper stuff. Yeah, I'm just using digispark on this computer. On any other computer that's plugged in, they're gonna get Octopedal is now digispark. But that's not what we're concerned with. What we're concerned with is simplifying my code a little bit by not having to go into a completely separate file and redoing these entries. I'll put undefs in here. I don't care. I got nothing to lose. Bother, you have to get rid of the other text. You're going to ruin it all. What are you doing? You're doing it wrong, Bother. Why haven't you gotten rid of that other text on the end of the thing? Oh my God, I can't believe you would do it. I would have deleted it sooner. Okay. Yeah, worst case is that it just throws a little code, or throws an error, throws a weird error. It should go. Yeah. If def and end if. Do I need to do all that stuff? I thought we were just undeffing. Why does it need an if def? Because if I undefine it and then redefine it, I don't see why there's any issue there. I don't know about this stuff as well as you guys. Because like they're doing an if def. So if that variable exists, but it's always going to exist. There's no doubt in my mind that it exists because this code loads the library where it always exists. But they also have an endif in there. So define and undef. Do you really need an endif? Well, that's the if, and this is the end of the if. So you're packaging that whole thing together. Undef on a non-existent def will throw an error. If I just put one if def in there, and then, or do I need to block them all out into individual steps? This seems like the antithesis of why we invented computers. I thought we were supposed to be simplifying this stuff. God damn it. All right. Make a block of if defs and a block of end ifs. And then I'll start organizing them. This is not simpler than just going into the fucking file, is it? Undef is fine for non-existing defines. It's not an error. Because yeah, I am absolutely certain that it is in this. That's literally the file that we're looking at. So it would be defined in there. So why? So it wouldn't error if it's non-existing. Yeah, I know. We're all shitty at C code. It's all right. That's all right. All right, so let's keep that. Even this is like so much more annoying. Undefining is obnoxious. It seems like if you want to define it again, that should be totally fine for the compiler anyway. But hey, we'll try to stick within their parlance. You have to move the include above the undefs. What? Move the include above the undefs. Oh, look, these are commented out at the bottom because note can probably. This is still in my comments section. It would definitely go below the include because when I code, it's comments, includes, and then defines. Comments section nerds. All of you. All right, it's okay. I'm an hour from when I wanted to stream. I want to have a long stream today. It's like getting cold and snowy out. It's like a nice time for us to like have longer streams, and I've got too many projects to do. especially before the break. We got to do Octopedal. I want to make significant progress on Burn the Subs before the 13th when I go away until after Christmas. If and death? The fuck? You guys know too much about this stuff. Oh, God, Gonad. I'm gonna have to... I took psychic damage from that comment. Still believe because config vendor ID and USB config device ID need to be changed so Windows doesn't think it's a digispark ID. Let's USB config vendor. I'll make notes of this. Parentheses, so not digispark. Configure vendor ID and configure device ID. I'll make a note of that, all right? For when I have more freedom of testing. I'm gonna save that into the file. Learning OpenSCAD. 10 times as long as doing it on FreeCAD. I don't know, man. I don't know OpenSCAD. I'm sorry. I pretty much just know Fusion, and I'm good at it, but... Oh, yeah, let me, I'll note down that reference. Oh, that's good. Yeah, he did all this stuff, so ref there. Okay, so this is what I added to the file. So not digispark, USB configure vendor ID, USB configure device ID, and then the reference is that page. As long as that stays around, I'll be able to reference that and take a look at what they do. OpenSCAD is 3D modeling using code, so it's like processing. It's kind of crazy. Okay, I'm saving that to the files, but I'm not doing it for this version. This version, I want to get going. We need to get this running. We've got all of our parts, except for the bolts that I want to use to hold down the 3D printed thing. And I need to get my ultraviolet epoxy, which I just got sitting over there. It's like nail stuff, right? That's what we're going to fill the eyes in with, because it did a really good job. They were really clear, and they transmitted a lot of light. DeTorque! Hey, thank you for subbing. I forget what I did on the pedals, and I'll have to talk to Octojay about this, because when I filled in the eyes, I need to figure out whether or not I made like a matte surface on the top. I think I left it to Captain Tape, and then I blotted it down, and then I turned the UV light on it. Yeah. On mine, I'm pretty sure you 3D printed them. Yeah, the better one is the one that's filled in with the glue, because the glue gets into all the stuff. But then it's matte on the top, and that allows the light to get in there, and then when it hits those eyes, it'll spread out, and they look really cool. So yeah, what we'll do tomorrow is we will cut out the PCB, I will start building it, and then whenever I'm done, we'll have another Octopedal. And unfortunately, it took 2 streams. If this was a circuit board, it probably would have taken 1, but it looks like all of our ducks are in a row. And now we're set for the next time I build one of these. I hope there isn't a next. We'll see. If there's a next time, there's a next time. If there's a next time, I'm gonna have a shit fit and make a circuit board for this thing. But yeah, we got all the stuff here, ready to start building it. It's gonna probably take a full day tomorrow for me to actually construct this project, but it'll be surface mount soldering for the most part, and then a little mechanical stuff, and then we're done. So as simple as it sounds, whenever you do a project on stream, double the amount of time you think it's going to take, huh? I don't have anybody else in mind for one right now. Yeah. It's such a simple thing, and you can do it 1,000,001 ways. I think, I would hope that most of the people around here, the torque is 13 months, lucky 13, I just noticed that. Thank you for resubbing, man. Anyway, so yeah, this is the kind of project that you can do some cool stuff like with this on your own. You can come up with your own way to do this. I'm using a Hall effect sensor and a NeoPixel, right? You could do this with a $20 microcontroller, and you could add all kinds of cool stuff to it. You could put a mood ring in it that'll sense the temperature of your foot. You know, this is like the sky's the limit. So what I'm doing by building this, I am providing Octojay with something that he otherwise probably wouldn't make, but I also hope I'm inspiring you guys to do cool stuff. And that's exactly what happened with twiztedsizter. He built his own version of this. So yeah, this is cool stuff. You can do a lot of really neat stuff with this kind of stuff. Sign and create your own steering wheel to play MSC. I did that. I put a 2 horsepower 3. Were you around for that, Cannibal G? You probably only just heard of that. It's sitting in the other room. I have a 2 horsepower force feedback steering wheel, originally inspired by my summer car, where I took actual car parts and have them hooked up via something called the LIN bus. Steering wheel for farm sim. I've seen, like, I've got those industrial joysticks in a bin somewhere, those little industrial, I could figure that out. I don't know, that joystick project took us like 2 years to do. So we had to reverse engineer actual automotive hardware. And I've still got actual automotive hardware that I want to reverse. Well, we don't need to reverse engineer this, but I want to get this working on the LIN bus. I need Granite Devices to update their stuff so that I can put more buttons into games, because this I could convert into a LIN bus controller, and I would be able to control the backlight if we could find out how to digitally turn on the backlight on a Mercedes steering wheel. Okay. But yeah, that would be a long, there's a lot of projects that I really want to get to that would take a long time. There's still more projects around here that I want to get to, and I'm coming up with projects every fucking second of the day. Like, oh, I really want to do this, but where am I going to find the time, right? I'm starting to get a little stressed out about that. So we need to focus in. I mean, I know everybody loves to be like that TED Talk, the fake TED Talk, where the guy's like, I'm the ideas guy. I come up with the ideas. What we're going to do is we're going to turn trash into fuel. And it's like, I'll let the bobbins, I'll let the eggheads figure that out. That's kind of what we get. That's the kind of person we get around here. So do I want to raid? Rabaz is playing that Stalker clone, which is pretty cool. I tried to play Into the Radius, and my VR headset was not having it. It was not having it. Is Davies actually, for once, not playing? He's not playing anything. Dex bonuses around. Takahata. Cassidy. Software and game development. Bruce is around. All right, you know what? There's enough people online. Davies is off today. Well, good for him. Not playing My Summer Car for once. He had more viewers than I did for My Summer Car, which is awesome. All right, so what I'm going to do is just leave you guys alone. I'm just going to... We'll stop, we'll say goodbye, and then we'll walk in the same direction for an awkward amount of time, because we're all going the same way. And then eventually we'll split off, but it'll be really awkward, because we've already said goodbye. And then I'll be back tomorrow, and we will finish the Octopedal. See you guys later.